Hello, three viewers. How's everybody doing? You have 4 viewers now. The rest of the gang's not here, and I thought I would just chat it up with you guys before we actually start at 9 o'clock. And I'm going to put some stuff up on the front page. Feel free to talk in the chat window if you want. Here, I will write, "What's up, everybody?" There you go. So, pardon me while I update the front page. What's up, Enigma? Yeah, I don't go by that. 1 is the loneliest number, yes. I am switching this, turning the flipping the switches and turning the knobs, yes. No, I hadn't heard about Alonso leaving. Are we going to talk about that? Who knows? Yeah, we will. Okay, let me, I'm updating the front page as we speak. Oh, you know what? I just wrote in the, I didn't actually write, I wrote in the chat window, wrong chat window. What's up, everybody? There you go. This will be funny when the rest of the crew comes online and see there's already five people beat him to the show. See a little prop back there? That's my newest collectible. Right there. Ah, there. I got some Spider-Man underoos from the 70s. Making a cameo appearance. They're still in the box, Enigma. Okay, I'm not going to look at the chat window for a minute. Give me just a second to update the front page. Jay, I did too. I used to organize. This is how OCD I was as a kid. I used to organize them by character at the store. So I would put the Spider-Mans here, the Hulks here. I don't think I did small, medium, large, and I don't think I understood that concept as a little kid, but I understood you put the Spider-Man with the Spider-Man, the Hulks with the Hulks, and you never let the DC and the Marvels mix. Hey, we have Mike just popped up. Let me send him an invite to be on this little broadcast. Okay, let me send that to Mike. Send that to Zach, George, and JR. There's 8 of you early. That's kind of cool. Hello, 8 viewers. Trailer Park Mom. Hello, Trailer Park Mom. That is new. Oh, that's cool, Enigma. I had Spider-Man sheets too when I was a little kid. That's cool. Actually, Spider-Man Collector is on Facebook, and he posts pictures, and I actually saw pictures of the actual bed sheets I had back in the day, which is kind of cool. Okay, let me copy this and put this here and save.
Hello.
Hey, what's up, Mike?
Oh, not too much. You can't probably see me on my camera. Is my camera off?
Your camera is off.
Okay.
The 10 viewers currently watching. We're live right now.
Okay. Well,
they cannot see you, sir.
Oh, because I don't have it plugged in. That would help.
When in doubt, check the power.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. That would have explained a whole bit.
Hello, Trailer Park Mom.
Let's see. How's the trailer parks?
I guess
so. Okay. All right. Let's see. Hey, now.
Okay.
Oh,
as
there
you
I
do
am.
That, I'm going to update the Facebook page.
Okay.
Did you see Mike yet?
Yeah, we should be good. Although I got to try to adjust it.
If you scoot back.
Scoot back. Yep. Okay.
That's funny how that's the only way. I guess your desk is so close to your face.
Well, it is. It's just one of those weird things where I just cannot. Strange. It's just that my the Zoom. This does not have a Zoom function on this at all.
That's weird.
Which is just so bizarre. Which is like, I know. I think it's just because it's just a really,
If you could find something that's like level the height to your face, you could. Oh, actually, is the camera built into the monitor?
Well, no, the camera is not built in the monitor. It's actually a separate one piece. But I think, but I think it's an older, but it's definitely an older camera and everything. So,
like, if you could find something like a book or something to put it up eye level to your face, so your eyes are in the upper third.
Oh yeah.
Oh, here comes JR. What's up, JR?
Hey guys.
Say hello to the 12 viewers currently watching us. We're live.
Hi, 12 viewers. It's like, well, I mean, wait a minute, 12 viewers. Is that anything
13.
like 13?
JR showed up and we have one more.
Well, crap, I was about to do a 12 Days of Christmas and a 12 Disciples of Jesus and all other kinds of jokes. And number 13, you just screwed that all up.
Let's see if we're up to 14. Nope, we're still stuck. Oh, we just lost one. Now you can do it. We're down to 12.
There we go.
Okay.
I guess I shouldn't open my big mouth, huh?
Thanks, JR, for letting us lose viewers.
Okay, hold on. I'm going to see if I can get to the crawl space page here for a second. Okay.
All right, publish. You know why I did this? Oh, we're up to 14. Thank you, JR. You brought 2 of them back. Why I did this, Zach says I never do things on time on the Facebook page. So I'm here 10 minutes early.
So where's Zach?
He's late. Hey, George, what's up?
What's up? Late?
Say hello. No,
Zach is late.
It's 8:59.
I know. Say hello to the 13 viewers, George. We're live.
Oh, hi, everyone.
Here, let me give you the URL for
I can
you guys can watch the chat.
I can find it. It's
okay. I'll just put it in the chat window in case
I just go to the damn channel and it's right there.
There you go.
I'll have we put it on Facebook already?
Yep.
Okay. I mean, like, have we put it like the link like right now? Not the one you did earlier.
Yep, it's up.
All right.
And it's updated on the front page allegedly. Let me go look. I got here 10 minutes early to get it started because Zach said I never do anything early, so I had to.
Well, no one anticipated you getting on early. Did you tell anyone you were coming on early?
Yeah, if you look on the Facebook, you guys want to talk to the YouTubers 20 minutes early?
Oh, I've been. I'm
the only person that saw it was George. I mean, Michael Bailey. So I thought we could just chat it up with the YouTubers. Let's see.
Hi, Enigma.
We got 16 viewers now. Enigma says Spider Yoda in the hizzy. Hello, JR.
Is that like in the bathroom or something like that? I had to go take a hizzy?
No.
Yes, sure. That's what that means.
Don't get hizzy on the pizzy, all right? Enigma, you just finished Longmire. I haven't seen that show on Netflix. Is it good? What are you eating, George?
I'll say George is finishing his Longmire.
I'm having
foot long Longmire.
I'm having a poor man's sandwich.
In Texas, do they call it sandwich?
Yeah, sure.
Sandwich.
That's how I say it. Well, I'll just like if I type it out, I'll say sandwich.
Right.
But no, it's just 2 pieces of Black Forest ham and wrapped in a piece of Swiss cheese. I'm eating that twice.
Oh, so there's no bread.
Oh,
No, because I'm not because I'm cutting carbs or carbs are the enemy or anything. Because I ran out of bread.
Well, that's one way to lose weight.
well, it's the Atkins. So it's an Atkins sandwich, basically.
It's very Atkins friendly. Yes.
Oh, it's George's sandwich.
Right.
Yes, Werewolf Ashley still works here. She just couldn't make it tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you.
There you are.
Yeah, there you are, Zach.
Hey.
Tilt your camera down a little bit. You look good. There you go. Hey, so you said I never do anything. Zach, you said I never do anything on time. I was here 10 minutes early just to show you up. And I was broadcasting to 10, now 17 viewers.
Ah, okay.
Hold on. Mic drop, watch.
By the way, Zach, since you've got that nice, manly beard going on now, and since we're supposed to be clones, does that make you Kane?
I am king.
So
I just need to grow my hair out.
So if George and I were clones, because he's got facial hair and I don't, what would that make him another clone? The evil clone and I'm the good one?
That would make me like mirror Brad.
Oh yeah,
that would be appropriate. I mean, mirror Douglas is George.
There you go.
Basically, George would be the mirror verse of Kingpin. Basically.
And what would JR be? What would an alternate universe of JR be? Happy and single?
he would be Bruce Wayne.
No, JR is not Bruce Wayne.
Be the same guy because I don't think JR is capable of actually being happy.
In all the multiverses, JR's
there is one constant. JR is never happy.
I thought JR's evil twin from another parallel universe was Norman Osborn. But
I like what 2270660 said. JR is the multiversal constant.
Yes, there you go.
It sounds like a suppository, but nonetheless.
It does. It sounds like something you got to get a prescription for.
JR, what would your opposite be? Let's hear it from the source.
What would my opposite be?
Yeah, what would your opposite be?
I don't know. Probably a great humanitarian, I suppose, who puts money in the Salvation Army buckets. Hell, I don't know.
You mean you don't put money in the Salvation Army buckets? You're a goddamn monster.
I don't know. Whenever I see the Salvation, I was going to do a Colin Kaepernick joke, but that's not going to work.
Oh, wow.
They say JR is the Franklin Richards or the Harbinger.
The what?
The Harbinger?
I think that's a Valiant book.
Harbinger was a DC.
Oh, there's a Harbinger's a DC character too.
There is. Okay.
Remember, she was in Crisis.
Yeah. Unless they're talking about the Monitor.
Enigma, who likes my jokes? I don't want to miss this. Who likes my jokes, Enigma? He just typed.
Hey, somebody send me the link so I can.
Just go to YouTube. Just go to the YouTube.
Just go to the YouTube chat.
It's on the. It's in the chat window here.
Okay. Fair enough.
You lazy
consult the Googles.
Hell, I did.
Picking on the bad clone.
Yeah. Well, no, that's
lazy.
Right.
No, you're the good one. Okay. You're the one without facial hair.
Well,
you're the one that did the clone conspiracy thing.
Yeah, because somebody actually mentioned it. That makes me Ben Riley now, and now Jack's all jealous. So,
yeah, Brad's all jealous that I can grow out this lovely mane of manliness, and he can't.
Dude, so, I can grow it down here all day. Look, I shaved this morning.
I was off that
How
window.
far down are we talking about?
I wasn't looking at a different window, and I hear Brad. Look, I can grow it down here, and I'm like, whoa.
I don't even try at this because I just mine got all too dark.
That escalated quickly.
Oh, that was funny.
Ashley's not here for 5 minutes.
I'm just saying
already.
I'm just saying right about here is the point of no return. That's where I can grow it from the toes all the way up to here.
Oh God Almighty! Oh.
Clover fan is like, stop, abort, no more.
I was about to say, don't discuss politics, religion, or Brad's ability to grow hair. It just doesn't work.
Dude, the wheels are off in less than 10 minutes, and we haven't even started this.
No kidding.
Okay, the chat room is saying stop. I will. I'm sorry, but who Enigma? Who did I make laugh? Who likes my jokes? Evidently, all the cease and desist I'm getting, and
Bread
What
with
the court
mayonnaise.
orders to basically stop while you're ahead.
That's really
Is that what it is?
By the way, before you boys got on, I was showing the YouTubers. I put a little prop over my shoulder. Yeah, I've got my Spider-Man underoos on. I mean, not on.
Oh.
They're over.
Whoa.
They're over there.
TYI, Brad.
My mint in box underoos are over my corner.
Okay.
You're the only person that would actually have a mint-in box set of underoos.
Ah, got it. Enigma says the alternate universe JR thinks I'm funny.
No, I'm afraid the alternate universe JR doesn't.
He's consulted with the Council of JRs.
Yeah. What's that weird? What's that weird? The Moreland people that's sitting in the middle of the Spider-Verse. What's that guy's called?
Like Karn?
No.
Yeah, JR is Karn.
Okay.
You're
basically you mean the guy wearing the leather
diving
mask
helmet?
and the clockwork.
Yeah, you're the
thing.
diving helmet that control all the other JRs.
The man gives up hours upon hours upon. We're talking literally weeks of free time has been spent for this damn show, free of charge. And you want to insult the man by calling him a lame Dan Slott villain.
By the way, they're the inheritors, for the record.
The inheritors. There you go. I'm so sorry, JR.
You're like paper doll. Accuse me of making shit up than being called a lame slot character.
Well,
I would rather George accuse me of being unprepared for my segments than being called a lame slot character.
Well, that was true, though. Okay, 23. We're gaining viewers talking about facial hair and slot villains. Okay. Before we start, YouTubers, any questions? We're going to review 4 books. And I don't... Here, let me check.
We don't have message board questions this week.
We don't. We can just take them live.
You take them live
I can do it like a Bill O'Reilly. We can do it live.
Well, that's probably
We'll do it live!
I mean, we've got a lot of books to cover.
I agree. 4 books and a lot of news. Let me pull up the crawl space on my iPad, see if we have any iTunes reviews. We haven't had any since April. Nope, doesn't look like it.
Maybe it's this video format. People don't like seeing us.
Okay, YouTubers, if you haven't done it, go to our... Can you see that?
They can't see that, Douglas. There
you go. Go April 30th, I think, is the last YouTube review. Otherwise, we would have read it right on the air tonight. So if you haven't done it, go over to iTunes and feel free to write a review. Probably the loyal people, all 23 of you, probably already have. So if you have already, all 23 of you, thank you.
Apparently, if you couldn't make it tonight, but you love the crawl space, apparently you're not loyal.
No, I'm saying
you're watching this on the post-game show.
Suddenly,
I'm saying the ones that are watching us live are the loyal of the loyal crawl spacers. So I appreciate that. So watch, we'll drop like 3 or 4 viewers because I said that. Okay, let me pull up my notes. Let's see here. I think we're starting with JR since this is a Norman-centric book. Yes, we are.
Yes, yes, Douglas. You true to form. You give him the Norman book. I mean, well, geez, nobody.
Am I going to give him a clone?
That.
Am I going to give him a clone book? No.
Yeah, give me a clone book. I'll review that.
He did last month or next month in Spider History, and then I was supposed to talk, and then Brad's like, no, we got to move on. We got to move on.
Yeah, that was good.
No, that was last month. Next month is more Ezekiel Moreland Shothra Totem Mystic Spider crap.
Yay!
ASM 32, or else, or as it's also known, Norman Osborn Sorcerer Supreme.
Okay. Let's see here. Let me pull this out of mint and bag.
I like that cover.
You do? Okay, well, hold up. Stop praising.
I like how JR's voice went deep and sexy for a minute. I like that.
I like that cover.
That's a pretty cover. I like that cover. It looks pretty good. Yeah.
Suddenly we're on the Quiet Storm time slot.
Suddenly we became NPR. Like, thank you for listening for NPR radio.
Enigma, you are loyal. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Okay,
Jack, if you ever gave an interview inside NPR's office, as much as you scream, it would bring that building down.
So you're saying I should go ahead and do that?
Yes, if they ever invite you, by all means.
Trailer Park Mom says, comic book guy told me about you all. So welcome, Trailer Park Mom. I'm glad you
Excuse me. Comic book guy is a fictional character, so.
All right, Clover Fan
Trailer
98.
Park Mom. Is that my mom?
Crawl Space After Hours. Yes, indeed.
My mom grew up in a trailer park.
All right, coming down in 3, 2.
It's going to be my autobiography. My mother was white trash.
Stop with the mom jokes on yourself.
Damn, JR.
Okay, coming down 3, 2. Hey, Crawl Spacers, welcome to our review show. Let's introduce the panel. We've got Zach. What's going on, sir?
Hey, rocking the new mic setup, and I'm happy to be here. Happy to be reviewing 4 books.
4 quattro books. It's a lot of books. 4, count them. Fantastic 4 books. Oh, we don't have them anymore. Okay, we've got Mike. What's going on, Mike?
Oh, well, I'm just glad to be here and say hello to everyone who's watching us on the live stream.
Watching us on the live stream is recorded on YouTube. Yeah. We have
comments as fast as I can do on this thing, but
we have currently 25 people watching us, so thank you all for showing up. Random Internet Weirdo says, nice new mic to Zach. There you go. And we have George. What's going on, George? How's Texas tonight?
Oh, Texas is fine. Wish it would decide what it wants to do. We've had like a couple of 80 degrees here on days in October. Sure. See, when October gets here, people in Texas, who are always conscious of their damn electric bill because of summer, when they have to take a second job to afford air conditioning, they're like, please God, just let it get cool. And so finally, and when they have to turn up the AC in October, after already having to do that thing, where you turn the heater on and burn off the excess dust and carbon and everything, and the smoke detector goes off and all that shit. Right. So after they've already had to do that, then at some point again in October, they're going to have to turn the AC back on, and it always pisses us off.
It's true.
Because we're like, dude.
Missouri has the same problem.
Just let it just get cold already, for crying.
By the way, George, can you look out your window and see the crawl space? The crawl space now lives in Texas.
No, because I'm in Louisville, and all I see is my apartment complex.
Okay.
Okay.
Sorry. Zach, can you look out your window and see crawl space?
Well, no, but I've seen Mr. Berryman's apartment complex.
That was creepy as all. George, I want you to go lock the door right now.
It's already locked. That's how I roll, man. My apartment complex is kind of shady. Look, you know what? Let me read an actual thing from Halloween.
Oh, okay.
Thing that was posted on my door, and this is not the first time this has happened.
Okay.
When I first moved into this apartment, I've been in the same apartment now for 17 years.
Wow.
When I first moved into this apartment, it was great. It was mostly college kids and me. All right.
Yeah.
And so now it says, "Dear resident, this was November 1st. Dear resident, we have been informed of a criminal incident which took place on October 31st, 2017, around 11 p.m. in front of the leasing office of the property. A shooting occurred during a meeting reported to be a drug deal of suspects that have not yet been named."
So that's not cool, man.
We have no evidence to believe that the assailant or victim inside or reside at insert apartment complex name.
Wow.
And this isn't the first time I've gotten one of these. We've had shootings. The building next to mine burned down. Some of you have been around long enough to remember that. So yeah, it's and yet the rent continues to increase. I don't get how that goes.
Are you part of the?
Huh?
Are you going to be now part of the rent is too damn high party?
Oh, rent is too damn high. But
the victim lived there? Did the suspect live there?
No, neither of the people involved live there. But here's the thing: I hate moving so much.
You're willing to get shot.
Well, don't we all? Yeah.
I hate moving so much.
Dodging a bullet while I take out the trash, as opposed to moving.
I don't get this because it's Texas, and you have to assume everyone else is strapped. I mean, when you're at the grocery store, you have to think that mom over there probably got a 22 in her purse. If you go into 7-Eleven, dudes in here probably got a couple of 9 millimeters of 45.
That is funny.
And for the record, Texas just recently passed a law allowing you to carry samurai swords.
Really?
Wow.
Because freedom, goddammit.
Exactly.
The reason I asked George, and that went off on a big long tangent, but it was funny. I'll give him that. We moved hosts. The website is now hosted in Texas now. So the crawl space, Zach and George are all residing in Texas.
And the site is moving so much faster, and everything is
Isn't it, though?
much better.
It's because it's worried about getting shot. And last, you set it up, I knock it out. All right. And last but not least, JR, what's going on, sir? How are you, buddy?
Wow, I just was realizing what a misogynist I am. I mean, let's see here. JR insults the only female person in the chat. JR not only content with insulting his wife, now insults his mother. Someone apologizes to Trailer Park Mom on my behalf. JR isn't very fond of the females in his family. I do like my daughter. Wow. But then again, she hasn't wronged me yet.
You just last month or a week ago, you were celebrating the fact that she's gone.
Yeah, I know. Because then because the less I see of her, the more likely I am to like her.
There wasn't
all right.
All right. Wait. Joshua Nelson just insulted everybody. We're all turning into JR as we age. Oh my God.
Actually, we're all turning into this guy, Norman Osborn. I'm seeing a little Osborn come out of you, JR. So this is we're going to be reviewing. How is that for a segue, folks? I'm trying.
Yeah, oh boy.
We're reviewing 4 books in this episode. We're going to review. I love the numbering of this. ASM 32, ASM 789,
yeah,
ASM 790, and ASM 791. And this is goblin-centric, so I thought I'd give it to Zach. All right, Zach, let's
hang on. Before you do this,
yes,
everyone listening and everyone on chat, Ashley's not with us this month.
Oh, that's
cool.
right.
Cool. Chill out. She's not gone.
No.
She's still with this. She's still with this. She just can't be a part of this show tonight. We tried. The scheduling didn't work out, and we all miss her very much. But Chad is freaking out. Like I've had to explain this now like a few times in chat. Like she's still alive. She's
actually
still
has
us.
A bunch of fans, and including us 5.
Yep. She's not dead like Stella is.
Hopefully this will not perpetuate. Yeah. Hopefully this will not perpetuate.
Stella's
the
not dead.
That,
She's
that
just
Ashley
is
George either.
Well, no, this just perpetuates that whole urban legend that Ashley and I are the same person. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true. Well, however, we've proved it the last several months. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and here's the thing. Stella is writing roller coasters at Universal Studios. So hi, Stella.
I'm sure she's not watching. 31 viewers. 31 viewers want to hear JR start off the 4-book review with a goblin. That's kind of a cool cover, JR. Tell me about will this increase your grade with this great looking cover?
Well, I was about to say I don't see 31 people wanting me to start with the. Anyway. No, it won't. No, I'm not like Brad Douglas, who will automatically upgrade a comic regardless how crappy it is based on the cover.
It's true. It's true. True. Cover factors into my grade. Sorry.
You're the only person
I know. That's what makes me an original.
Original's one word for it.
Yeah. So JR, you've got the floor. Take it, sir.
I was about to say, going from 32 to 789 sounds like it's time for math in Missouri again. But anyway.
Now, wait a minute. Oh, wait. Did you write that one down, or did that just come to you?
Whatever. Aren't you supposed to do writer and artist before we start?
Oh yes. All right. Well, we have a brand new writer. Oh wait, it's Dan Slott. Dan Slott is writing it. Greg Smallwood is the artist.
You had one job, Douglas. One job, and you couldn't even do that one.
I did.
All right. I guess we're going to start.
Yep. It's
now
yours,
that,
sir.
When we last saw our hero, genius industrialist Norman Osborn, he was forced to flee the country of Smimkaria.
It's like you're starting your car on a cold day.
It's not even that hard to say.
But it is. I mean, it's like
it's not. Simcaria.
But and then there's Nunlin or whatever it is that Shangri-La ripoff or whatever that. Anyway, so even though Norman transformed Simcaria from a poor, dull agrarian economy and a country populated by refugees from a Fiddler on the Roof revival into a thriving, high-tech manufacturing economy where the population enjoy high wages and full employment, boy billionaire and slacker Peter Parker, who was actually reaping the rewards of a company built by the genius of Otto Octavius rather than his own pathetic efforts, and who was doing nothing more than trying to get into Silver Sable's pants, ripped the country asunder, wrecked its economy, and forced Norman back into hiding. So, this story already has a kind of a tragic start. But even before that, in the dreadful Goblin Nation story arc, where Peter Parker, ungrateful that Norman Osborn, the great hero, had so thoroughly disoriented, defeated, and disenchanted Otto Octavius that the villain literally returned control of Spider-Man's body back to him. Just because of Norman's efforts. Well, that was, Peter Parker ungratefully, selfishly injected him with billions of microscopic nanites, which rendered him incapable of accessing the powers of the Green Goblin, simply because Spider-Man was too much of a pussy for a fair fight. So,
wow. Kid friendly. Suck it. Breathe in and out with your Green Goblin shirt on.
Wait. Kid friendly. It's 10:22 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
PG-13, JR. Make it
all good children are in bed right now. So anyway,
the internet is our hero forever, JR. The internet.
Well, let's not get Brad fired, okay? Come on.
Yeah.
All right.
True.
Wait a minute, fired is his own show.
I have something that supports this show. It's called a day show. Go ahead.
Let's see. As our hero's journey begins, Norman is trying to use a jazzed up version of the Goblin formula to override the nanites, but it fails. So he goes to a scientist, a psychiatrist, and a hot Asian acupuncturist to try to resurrect the Goblin personality, but all fail. Then the hot Asian acupuncturist suggests an unconventional method. She asks, have you ever seen Batman Beyond?
Or Doctor
Batman
Strange.
Begins. Batman
Or
Begins.
Doctor Strange. Either one.
Batman Begins. So we see Norman climbing a treacherous mountain in a driving snow where he encounters 3 cliched, wrinkled Tibetan monks from any number of Lost Horizon knockoffs at the Temple of No Name, which was founded by Sergio Leone and Clint Eastwood.
And you too. Don't forget that. Because there's just no name. Yeah.
Oh.
So Norman says, I seek to see an Asian dude pretending to be a Middle Eastern dude, when all along it turns out the white dude standing next to me has been the Middle Eastern dude the whole time. Except he doesn't look Middle Eastern. He looks like Liam Neeson. Have you seen him? All right. So anyway, the monks take him into this room here. And in order for him, they want him to show his true potential as part of a, this whole ritual thing when you go into a monk thing or whatever, So he puts his hand on the Emerald Oracle of IKEA, which explains why the furniture is so cheap. So anyway, the monks appear suitably impressed and begin his training, which includes wax on, wax off, and various Ralph Macchio poses.
Yep.
Oh, and look what we got here in the midst of all the action. We have a full-page Marvel Inhumans advertisement. Boy, does that look awesome. Boy, I can hardly wait to go to my local IMAX and watch this. Anyway, all right. Now, after watching all 3 Karate Kid movies and the remake, the wrinkled old Tibetan monk ripoffs tell Norman that he's ready to bond with his totem, which is represented by Mask on the Wall. And when I see the word totem, that brings to mind all those Ezekiel Moreland, Shathra Totem, Mystic Spider crap stories, but that's not important. But instead of reaching for the tiger mask, because he doesn't want to look like a Kellogg's cereal mascot, or reaching for the panther mask because some black dude's going to be wearing that in the movie come February, all right, Norman puts on the Goblin mask. And he obtains magic powers, and he conjures up that cowardly Spider-Man. And he says all kinds of Doctor Strange mumbo-jumbo, although not using the Eye of Egg Foo Young. He turns Spider-Man into a spider and then turns on the wrinkled old monks And then he finds himself back at the Emerald Oral of Ikea saying, just what the hell happened? And the monks say, you dumbass, we knew you were an evil scumbag and you were going to try crazy shit like this. So the whole thing's been in your head. So once again, we've cheated the audience, you know, into having half an entire issue be a fever dream inside Norman Osborn's head, just like that stupid story, the final chapter, which led to the first failed reboot of Spider-Man back in 1999.
Ooh, full circle.
So Norman gets kicked out of the temple with no name, or Shangri-La, or Kunlun, or the Temple of the League of Shadows, or whatever. And he says, I could have been a contender. But then in a last page, oh crap, we have to bring this story to some kind of conclusion. Norman realizes that the Green Goblin is still there, still inside of him, and one day he'll return.
Yep.
The end.
Okay, when I read this, I was curious.
Uh-oh.
Will JR love it or hate it?
I gave it a C-.
Okay, you thought it was average.
Very average.
Let's go around the horn. Zach, what would you give it for a grade?
I would give this grade.
Why are you whispering?
I'm doing this because I'm getting in character. I am going to do the voice of Liam Neeson for this review. So, my grade is a D.
Okay, thank you, Liam Neeson. Zach, what's your grade? I was so confused.
I agree. Okay. I agree with Liam.
Okay, let's see. Mike, what's your grade?
I was gonna say I'm saying it's a B-. Oh wait, is this a dream sequence or something? Or well, before. So it's probably until it got to the dream sequence. So it's probably about a C+. So
C+. Okay. George, what's your grade?
I also gave it a D. Well, I give it a D-.
Yeah. I'll give it a D also. Did not like it. Did not like it at all. 227060 on the YouTube chat says I'd give it a D for Don't You Dare Do That to Norman. Let's see. It's Michael Reed, D- for him. Josh Nelson, D-. 22 says JR is far kinder than I was.
Well, I gave credit for the cover.
Comic book guy, my kid can write a better comic book than this.
oh, yikes!
Wow.
Okay, so I gave it a D. Didn't I already do that?
Yep.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, let's hear the pros. It had something good about it, a JR. If it was an average book for you, what worked?
The cover.
That is a good-looking Alex Ross cover, by the way.
Is it though? Is it though?
Yeah. Oh,
I guess in a way, I just like seeing Norman back, and I just like the idea that maybe we're back on the way to him becoming the Green Goblin. But really, this story just reeks so much of a fill-in issue that you know, it's for your average Spider-Man fan. I don't see anything in here that would have appealed to the average Spider-Man fan.
Well, it's just so cliche of going up and finding monks. I mean, Batman's done it. Doctor Strange has done it. I mean, this is nothing new.
Iron Fist has done it too. So
yes,
Doctor Doom has done it.
Doctor Doom,
which is basically what Norman Osborn practically is now. Is he kind of ripping off too much of Doctor Doom because, you know.
Yeah. Any other pros out of it?
Yeah.
The art was really nice. I like the art.
Yeah.
Yeah, the art's okay. I actually kind of honestly, I kind of thought, okay, where before it got to the point where, oh, this was all a dream. I like the idea that it was sort of, okay, that Norman's decided to kind of explore the idea of magic, or trying to go into this idea like, oh, maybe magic can help me out kind of thing.
But we saw this in 1998 and it sucked.
I know.
Norman's got a bad memory.
Yeah, I know. But I think it was, initially with the way it was kind of starting, I thought, oh, this is kind of nice. It's kind of like showing the nice dichotomy, like Spider-Man's science, Spider-Man's magic. So we'll try to do a little thing there. Yada, yada. It's okay. I mean, and also I did think it was a little bit interesting, like kind of exploring a little bit of, his psyche at the time, even though it, but yeah, I mean, it's I thought it was, it's all right. It's not anything to write home about, but it was just, you know.
It just is like a story we've seen before. It's nothing new, Mike. I mean,
well, no.
I mean, we've seen the Doctor Strange.
I see your point.
Yeah, we've seen the Doctor Strange story, and we've seen Osborn do magic.
Right. I mean, yeah,
and those stories did it better.
Well,
I don't know. JR was
Mackie, though. You're talking about, but at the same, but also
was the 99 book better?
If we're talking about things, if we're talking about things that we're doing before, wait till we get to the next 3 issues, because that's something else.
Did Mackie do it better, JR?
That story was just effing stupid. This story is ultimately harmless, really. I mean, it's a fill-in. You know, it's a fill-in. You know, to be honest, just before we get to the next big story arc. Yeah, just to remind us that Norman's still out there, and oh, by the way, he's probably got some other scheme coming up, which I think in about issue number 791 or whatever it looks like might be coming to fruition.
Like issue 800 is probably what they're going to do. What he's saving it up for.
Refresh me. I see the book over there. What did Norman do in that Marvel Legacy book?
He was still going after trying to find like magical stuff.
Didn't he go to Doctor Strange or something?
Yes, he was trying to go to Strange's house so he could try to steal some magic items there too.
And was Strange? Tell me what happened, Mike. Did he go there and he wasn't there? Wong met him, or what happened?
Well, what happened is Strange and Iron Fist were at the Sanctum Sanctorum. And he kind of sensed that there was somebody trying to break in, but they didn't quite sure who it was. And then we see it's Norman Osborn kind of walking away and saying, one day I will try to get, that's basically the idea that he's searching for magical stuff in order to gain more power so he can become the Green Goblin. So it's actually, this what we see here in this issue is being followed up on. And it's going to be continuing in ASM.
It was only like 2 pages, I think.
Oh yeah, it was like a 1-page deal.
Yeah,
but
1 or 2 page deal.
So it's a teaser thing.
JR didn't even pick that up, and he loves Norman.
It wasn't worth picking up either, by the way. So you didn't miss much.
So I guess that was prose. There wasn't much prose. Do we have any more cons? JR, what's the biggest con of that book?
Again, the fact that half of it didn't happen. I mean, you knew really.
I hate that.
You knew when he touched the Emerald Oracle of IKEA or whatever, and when the monks said, "Huh," it's like, okay, the rest of this is going to be this. The rest of this is not going to happen. I mean, the monks would. You knew the monks were going to figure him out. Literally the minute he stepped on the place. So what was so then when it was all turned out to be a surprise or a dream, you weren't surprised. Exactly.
It's not good for you to call it that soon in a story. You want to have a twist a little bit. You don't want to call it that early.
Well, it was trying so hard to do something unique and different, but it was literally a rehash. Of the last spectacular issue. It was literally a rehash of the last issue before the first reboot we did back in 1998 with Peter Parker Spider-Man 98 and the last issue of Spectacular before it took a sabbatical until Paul Jenkins brought it back.
I disagree that it was trying. Using an old Doctor Strange Batman the Iron Fist plot is not trying.
Well, I mean, the only thing that was missing was, here's the thing. To Dan Slott, if this is the last time that we do this particular story, that'll be the end of it. I don't want you to do it anymore. I will find you. I will write some very bad articles about you.
A different way to go about it, something he hasn't done, maybe get someone from the Midnight Suns that's kind of evil, like Damien Hellstorm or something.
No,
or Mephisto. How about we get Mephisto to give him some magical powers?
Or how about the last time just goes back to being Norman? This is stupid.
Yeah.
The entire thing with Norman having magic is stupid. Slott does not understand what to do with this damn character. Even when he was supposedly sane in the last story arc, it was pretty obvious he was batshit crazy.
Well, that's what's my annoying thing about this too, is they're still trying to play up this idea like, oh, the Norman's sane. Well, no, you're still crazy as ever. You're still,
If Norman was sane, he would not be a crappy dad. He would start acting like a normal human being. But the fact is you trying to no-sell this fact that he's sane is insane, Dan Slott.
Okay.
Stop it.
I'm gonna give JR a what if.
Oh,
What
geez.
if Norman went to Mephisto for magical
God.
powers? Boom!
No!
Take it, JR. Take it.
Let's see. If Norman went
don't
to
have to take
Mephisto
this
for
through.
magical powers, I guess he would have never married Emily, or the thing would never have happened. Harry would never have been born, and I don't know. That's a dumb question.
Oh, you don't have to take this.
It is a dumb question. Don't even dignify it with a response.
Thank you. I agree. I agree with George in this particular instance.
YouTubers, they're turning on me. Help me. Help me. Oh no, they're not. The YouTubers are turning on me too.
Hornacek on the chat actually brings up an interesting point.
What'd he say?
He said that this kind of reminds him of when Doctor Doom tried to study magic in a Fantastic Four story called I think it was Untouchable or Unthinkable Unthinkable. Okay.
Yeah, this
is kind of the
retread
same similar idea.
This whole thing, like, just is a retread of so many other characters,
Mhm,
and even one movie without the magic. I mean,
Yeah.
oh my God, it's
Yeah.
I didn't feel like it was a good $4
Yeah.
spent, but I haven't felt that in a long time.
Well, at least this volume was over. That's
Yeah.
at least another good point.
So, are we ready to move on to the next issue? YouTubers, any comments before we move on? All 34 of you. We're increasing viewers the more JR gets ticked. Dance for me, monkey. Okay, so I spent a little bit extra and bought the variant cover.
You
next
poor
issue.
man, you.
And boy, was I disappointed. This thing,
This is why variant covers keep happening.
this I can barely see the Alex Ross part. The John Romita Sr., which is awesome, from the old old LP. That's where this came from. But as many retailers have said, this they should have used thicker paper or something because you can't see the two. You know, the worst one is the Spider-Gwen one. Oh man, you can't see that one. I think the Venom one.
Well, I think all of the covers for the Legacy thing are all like this too.
Yeah, they're pretty rough.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're talking 789, and George, you've got this one. Let me
you poor
read
man.
the credits. We got Dan Slott writing again, and we've got Stuart Eminem on pencils. Go ahead.
Yeah. So it starts off with Peter waking up on Mockingbird's couch, because of course he's lost everything from being CEO of Parker Industries. So he's crashing on her couch. She's getting him up, saying, "Oh, hey, you know what'd be really cool is if you got out and got a job or something." And he's laying there on her couch, and he's got his "Ask Me About My Feminine Agenda" shirt on, which caused so much of a stir. What was it, last year or earlier this year?
Yeah, that was in the Mockingbird.
And which is funny because it makes me think about Axel Alonso and agendas at Marvel and how much longer that can last. Spoilers. And he sees where Mockingbird has cut a headline involving him out of the fridge, or out of the paper, out of the Daily Bugle, and put it up on the fridge with "ha ha ha" letters written around it, And we also get a nice little clip a nice little scene with Harry and Liz, who are now apparently back together because reasons. After Brand New Day tried to establish, remember how hard Brand New Day tried to establish Harry as the
swinging bachelor.
Oh yeah, the swinging
bachelor.
James Franco.
He's like, that's only the kids I know about. I mean, like that's what Harry. And now Harry's like, oh, we got trapped in the city, and so now we're together again. And Liz is even biting his ear at one point.
Yeah, look at that. That's just kind of that's. Give me the growl, George. Yeah, that's what that deserves that.
Now one thing I'll note here is that I actually do favor Harry and Liz being a couple.
Yeah.
As opposed to Harry being, hey, any port in the storm, that version. So I actually do like seeing this, because remember at the time when Harry showed up and then he had another kid, and then it was like he didn't even give a crap about another kid, and we or this podcast with different people rightly rightly crapped on that because that was bullshit. And so now this is a little rectification of that. Almost 10 years later.
Yeah.
But it's kind of a welcome change. I like this change for Harry. It also puts Harry even at more of an odds with his father because now he's with Liz, and Liz is in control of Alchemax. So it's like a potential adversary for Norman in different ways now. So I actually like that. And I wonder if there's some part of him that's doing it that. I hope not, because I like seeing Harry and Liz back together.
Yep.
We shift to the Daily Bugle, where a very angry Peter, dressed like a slacker, dressed in slacker wear. He may as well worn the clone suit into there. You got the baggy sweats and the sweat top. Like he just doesn't give a damn. He hasn't even bothered to comb his
like he
hair.
just went to the grocery store.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. And he storms in and confronts Robbie about Peter Parker, Threat or Menace, the story in the Daily Bugle, and Robbie kind of dresses him down and puts explains all the reasons that you earned this article because you were a jackass, which is something the readers have been saying since this book was relaunched.
Yep, the readers are Robbie,
and the whole CEO thing happened. I mean, that's been us for the last couple of years, being all negative, and here Robbie puts it in perspective and is like, yeah, you're kind of an asshole. Speaking for the viewers or the readers. And Peter has nothing to say in his own defense. He's like, Robbie's right. This was my doing. He stops and corrects a tech writer who's writing an article about something with PIM particles and processors, and he stops to correct him, and then Robbie kind of notices and listens to Peter do that. It was pretty obvious what was happening then. When that gone, and we see that play out in later issues. But again, I liked this Joe Robinson. Yep, I really did. I really liked Robbie here. And it was, for me, this was a good scene. Peter gets attacked by an angry crowd because he's known by the whole planet now. This is something that no matter how you try to paint yourself out of it, nothing short of another mind wipe to make the whole world forget that you were a failed CEO of a tech company that was popular for about 6 months and almost destroyed a city. That's it. The whole world knows who he is now. And you don't put that cat back in the bag that easy. And so, of course, which we've always said it was a mistake. And so the crowd attacks him because just about everybody, it seems, has felt the sting over what happened in Clone Conspiracy. Not just you, the reader. And so Peter runs away from the crowd. He misses Flash's surprise birthday party. Flash is having a surprise birthday party now that his book went south. and you've got Aunt May and Mary Jane and Harry and Betty's there and Robbie and Glory and Joe and his wife, or Robbie and his wife. And I'm like, why are Robbie and his wife there? It's not like they're real good friends with Flash. Why are
they've known each other for 50 years?
Yeah, I guess so, but I mean tangentially, it's not like they didn't go to school with the guy or something.
It's a set up Flash coming back as part of that Venom Inc. thing. That's why.
Yeah.
Well, what other supporting cast we got at this point? I mean,
and there's a couple of dialogue sequences, and just reminding the readers who everyone is, because we're not used to seeing them in this book.
Yeah.
And of course, we see Mary Jane, and Mary Jane makes an offhand comment about they can't pitch in to help Peter because it would just embarrass him. And then Peter is there and overhears that, and he leaves. He doesn't go to the party, and he winds up crashed back on Mockingbird's couch again, and she walks in and makes him suit up. So they go on patrol and go and kick the crap out of the Griffin. While they're fighting the Griffin's apparently stealing. They're trying to steal Mexican food. This is a stupid villain plot, the same as when Slott, I think like the reboot before last, when they had the Free Comic Book Day, they had like the Gibbon. Not the Gibbon, they had Mandrill. The
Mandrill, yeah.
And that was another stupid setup. I mean, just completely. He was there with Spider-Woman, I think. And that was asinine. This is equally asinine. The premise here, I just wanted some Mexican food. And before he can smash this guy's taco truck or food, what do they call them? Oh God, There's
oh
a,
yeah, the vendor. The vendor.
yeah, there's a
truck.
name
Yeah.
for like those street trucks. I forgot
Oh,
what
like
they
the
call them.
yeah.
Anyway, it's
Food
pretty
trucks.
vulgar.
Food truck.
No, there's a slang term for it. It's like
Oh.
it involves like being nauseous, and I can't remember what it is now.
Oh.
Mhm.
And anyway, so there's a guy that yells out, "Please, not my truck. It's all I have." So Peter actually tries to save the dude's truck and makes a concerted effort. He's like, you know what? I've already caused a lot of people problems. I'm going to save this dude's truck. And then Mockingbird apparently hits him in the gonads with some sort of stun stick or one of her batons. We don't directly see it, but she says, I'm going to hit him where it really hurts. And then she makes a comment of fried huevos, and the guy's laying on the ground. I can't believe you did that, because it's funny when it's done to guys.
Mm-hmm.
And
Enigma says yuck truck.
no, it's not a yuck truck.
Okay.
Anyway, so they get back to Mockingbird's apartment and have a Coke, and they kiss, and Peter's like, well, maybe I don't have to be Spider-Man all that much.
Oh, you mean
And,
Peter Parker all that much?
Or yeah, Peter Parker all that much, because being Peter Parker apparently sucks, especially when he makes really stupid decisions.
Mm-hmm.
I give this one a C minus. I like the artwork. I love anything Stuart Emmerman ever does.
Yeah.
But I was honestly surprised to see a couple of refreshing story elements here that I wasn't expecting. I wasn't expecting for Robbie to come back and be kind of cool and be well done and dressed down the way that Peter deserved to get dressed down. I didn't deserve. I'm thinking of that damn article that was on our front page that Slott was the writer we deserve or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But we get that nice Liz and Harry scene that I wasn't expecting, and we can put all that unpleasant behind us and forget that like a bad fart, maybe. And so there were a couple of things in here that were positive elements. Now the whole crashing on Mockingbird's couch thing.
Well, that's the cons. Let's
Okay.
go around for
my bad.
the pros. Actually, you gave it a C minus. Let's go around the horn for the grades. JR, what do you give this one?
D minus minus. The only reason I didn't give it an F was because it lacked that certain personal offense that I give an issue an F to.
Okay, Mike.
D minus also, and
Wow.
very close to this was.
Zach.
I'm going to be weird. I'm going to give this a B.
Okay.
A B. Okay. I'm going to go straight up George, C minus.
Straight up George.
Straight up George.
That's the most terrifying thing I've ever heard.
Sounds painful, but I'm going to copy George straight up. I should have said it that way, not straight up George.
Mm-hmm.
So George just listed a bunch of pros. Let's
and trust me, no one is more shocked about that than I am. No one.
Right.
The YouTubers also, the 35 of you watching, start listing some pros. I'm going to go through the panelists. I'll read some of yours too. Hashtag straight up George is now trending, says Hornacek. JR, let me hear some pros out of you of this book. If it's a D.
Not a damn one. Not a damn one.
Oof. Mike, any pro?
The one I can probably kind of that I'm slightly kind of, at least it's sort of a pro with kind of interesting is I do kind of credit Slott for at least trying to kind of invert the script, if you will, in terms of like, oh, everybody hates Peter, but they like Spider-Man. It's like, even though it's kind of an inverse of what we usually get with the traditional, everybody likes, hates Spider-Man thing, but that kind of goes into a later con that I do have, among one of many that I will voice.
Zach, what's a pro out of you? You gave it the highest grade of all of them. Zach is muted.
Sorry. Apologies for being muted. No, here's the thing. I thought the artwork, I agree with George, the artwork was excellent. Stuart Immonen's really improved dramatically from his days on Ultimate Spider-Man. I think he's brought a different style. I think he's done a very, very good job. He's been a very, I think we don't give him enough credit at times when the book is bad.
I do. He's always been awesome. Always.
Yeah, you've been consistent, always saying that he's good, but I don't think we do enough in terms of glowing praise of what he's accomplished on this volume,
right?
Or since he came on.
He's shining things.
Yeah, well,
script that's not the best. Yeah.
Unfortunately, he's been given crap to draw.
Exactly. That's what I was going for.
So that's the unfortunate. Here's the thing. After all of this CEO Peter Parker is Tony Stark bullshit, it was nice to get the Daily Bugle again. It was, I remember saying several months ago that, or even a year ago, saying I missed the day. And Brad, I think you were saying this too. I missed the Daily Bugle. I missed that element of Spider-Man. The fact is, over the last 15 years, the Daily Bugle has been really very much downgraded as a plot element. And so to bring it back
and renew your vows. Number one, how much we enjoyed seeing the old Jonah.
Random internet weirdo that says Robbie being back deserves being called a pro. The complete removal of the Daily Bugle cast is a mistake. Somehow Straczynski made it work. Straczynski eliminated a lot of the Bugle too.
Yeah, it started with Straczynski because unfortunately it had been tainted so bad by Mackie and Byrne that it needed some time to breathe, but unfortunately, like nobody wanted it. It was like that radioactive ball that nobody wanted to pick up and run with. Well, it would be used tangentially at times for story elements, but it wasn't a unique part of Spider-Man. That is something that the movies have missed. The last 2 or 3 movies now have missed the Bugle. The fact is that right now there's an entire generation of Spider fans. If they've only read the Brand New Day, yes, and we had the DB. Remember that with Dexter Bennett because that was great.
Yeah, that was another asinine thing from the break.
Well, remember
I think thrust.
I think the excuse of Marvel, I think at the time what Marvel was using, why they were shifting away from the Daily Bugle was because, newspapers aren't really relevant anymore. And it's like, well, at the same time, it's like, well,
do they have
there's
to be
no reason you can't do. Yeah, I mean, it's like you can't. But yeah, the thing is, you can't. It's not like you can't still use a Daily Bugle as some kind of,
I've often said that
the Washington Post is owned by Amazon.
Oh, I know exactly.
The world is changing.
The way to handle it. The way to handle it in the modern age is the way it's actually done, where people aren't going and reading a physical copy; they're reading it online. Show people reading it at home on their screen, on their computer screens, or on their tablets, or on their phones. That's how people absorb it now.
I've often said that I think the Bugle could, like George said, evolve with the times. I think Jonah could do his editorials video style and embed it on the YouTube or whatever of the Daily Bugle website, and have Spider-Man headlines all day long, 24 hours a day.
Honestly, the concept that was done by Ultimate Spider-Man started by the 90s show. I think if you go back and look, it actually was on the 90s show, J3 Communications.
Yep.
Jonah was on there doing his Bill O'Reilly thing. But the Ultimate Spider-Man cartoon did get the concept right, except that they completely misused his platform to... It just became a butt of jokes. If you do it right, and yes... I know we just referenced him earlier about We'll Do It Live, but you can make him a Bill O'Reilly type, a Rachel Maddow type gal, somebody that has a network that's powered by the Daily Bugle. You can do that. You can have the print and media division because there are merging nowadays.
You could have DB News on,
or no, you could have Daily Bugle News. You drop the stupid ass DB.
Yeah, you don't have to do the acronym.
It needs to die like a disease. That's
I'm just saying. Well, you don't have Daily. It's MSNBC. You have, I guess, Fox News. I don't know. Anyway,
this is going to drive me to drink.
The pro is the Daily Bugle's back. Let's go through the cons. George, this is your review, so here's your cons first.
We're still tainted by the overall effect of Parker Industries. And how long did that story run now? Was it 2 years?
Yeah, I think so.
But I mean, I
think 2015. I could be right.
It's gone, but it's still lingering around. Like a
fart.
Yeah, like a bad fart. Like somebody needs to open the window. And the thing is it's going to keep doing that for a while now. And of course, again, to go back to what I said, the whole world knows who Peter is now.
Yeah.
Peter himself is a global celebrity.
Yeah.
Whether he likes it or not, even if he's infamous. TMZ would be following him around. any number of things. That's why this was always a very poor idea to begin with. So that's one of them. But the whole Peter Mockingbird thing just doesn't happen. It just doesn't stop. Stop trying to make it a thing.
Yeah,
that's my biggest con. Also, the Mockingbird thing is forced. Those two characters haven't had enough story together to crash on a couch and make out and do whatever.
I read someone, and I don't remember where I read this today, but somebody said something like, you know, they did a good job establishing, you know, the relationship between Mockingbird and Peter. And I'm like, no, they didn't. They did like a scene here and there during a fight.
No, they never did.
But during that whole industry scrap, but they never did.
And literally the only romance that Slott ever developed properly was Anna Maria. This is so badly developed.
I wrote that on our site this week.
Yeah.
I wrote that the only organic, realistic relationship that Slott wrote in his entire time for this character was for Otto. Yeah. He is incapable of doing it for Peter. At the same time, because here's the thing, even with Mockingbird, we already know where it's going to go. Are we gripping, you know, the edge of our seats, waiting until next month to see what happens next? No, because we all know there's a handful of ways being Peter Parker's or Spider-Man's girlfriend goes. Number one, you die. Number two, you just become. Number three, you get married and then have your marriage erased after 20 years through a deal with the devil to appease Joke with Sata's ego. That's it. That's the three ways that any Parker relationship is going to go.
You said four. There was four. I demand fourth.
No, F you. That's the fourth one.
Well, and the thing about the whole Spider-Man Mockingbird thing, I mean, the thing is, my reading comics enough is that anytime you see two superheroes from two different IPs get involved in a romance, it is not only doomed to fail, it actually hurts both characters in the long run. Just look at what happened with Black Panther and Storm, Superman.
Oh, are we losing Mike?
What about Kitty Pryde and
you know,
ultimate fake Peter? I thought that was I
think we lost Mike for a second. Mike's back. The thing is that this issue had two love stories that weren't earned or built up to. The Mockingbird Peter one, and out of nowhere, the Liz and Harry thing. Granted, they've been dating for 30 or 40 years, but it just kind of, I think I'll put these two together, just like a snap. It doesn't work. It's not organic. It doesn't feel right.
Well, here's the thing. Yes and no. The problem is that, again, the long-form storytelling of Slott is such that stuff either takes too long because there's too much between issues, i.e. Harry and Liz. You started seeing those seeds being planted like 1.5 million years ago, or 5 years ago when Slott was starting to have them in the same room together. The fact is that this payoff, again, 5 freaking years, and I'm trying not to yell, but for God's sake, we are at a point now where we're paying stuff off for 5 years, and then it seems so random when it does pay off because Dan Slott loses track of his damn plots. He forgets to pull out his notebook when he's not, pulling plots from TV shows. Doctor Who! I mean, for whatever reason, it's like he has ADD as a writer.
He just
I actually believe that.
I don't think he knows how to write relationships. I think that's his biggest fault.
He doesn't, but his pacing is insane.
Yeah. Well, and I forget who said it, but
Well, here was my
chat. But they said that this scene with Mary Jane is out of character. Would you guys agree with that?
Oh yes.
Wait, the scene with Mary Jane at the party?
Well, that was the point of my. That actually illustrates. Yeah.
No, because here's the thing. I mean, like
that actually illustrates.
I'm going to defend Mary Jane on that point.
Okay, go ahead.
And I think what Slott was going here was.
I love that you're one of the biggest supporters of this book, George, which is rare. I like it.
Well, I wasn't expecting there to be stuff that I liked in this book. I just wasn't. Yeah. But in that case, I didn't really flinch much when MJ said that at the party, because everyone being there. You've got Flash, Harry, Liz, Randy's there. I mean, this is very old school. This is like bringing people up who've been there for a long time. I think what that's hearkening back to is at a time when Mary Jane would have said something like that. And there was a time when Mary Jane was younger. Mary Jane sure as shit would have said something like that back before they were married, back before she went to, back before she disappeared, leading up to when like he asked her to marry him the first time. She totally would have thrown something like that out. She wouldn't have said he's too young, but she would have definitely talked to his friends and said, this is going to be embarrassing for him. She totally would have done that.
One of my least favorite slot MJ moments is when she sees him in the web bikini or whatever and slams the computer and says, loser. Remember that?
Yeah, I'm not saying
Can I offer a counterpoint? Can I offer a counterpoint?
Hang on. I'm not saying that Slot's been pitch perfect on Mary Jane. Far from. We've spent many episodes on this show pointing out that he doesn't understand how to write most of these characters. The only character he really has nailed to a T and understands how to write and explore the script is Otto. Let me finish my point.
Well, his internet is dying. I think that's what he wants to say.
That he writes correctly is Otto. Go ahead.
Okay. Go, Mike.
Yeah, that's what I keep. Okay, my counterpoint is this: the scene itself, I think, illustrates exactly what was wrong with this entire comic in this sense. To use an analogy for like Misery, that scene where basically James Caan's Paul Sheldon, when he's struggling with Annie Wilkes, he burns the manuscript and he's shoving it down her throat saying, eat it till you choke on it. To me, this kind of felt like that with that scene, that this comic was basically telling us, oh, so you didn't like the whole Parker Industries thing, even though it was going to be a limited thing. You want to go back to the whole back to basics thing. You want to see the supporting class. Well, fine. Here you go. Here it is. Hope you like it and just choke on it, basically, because it almost felt like, to me, that was when I saw that moment, it felt like this was one of the most cynical, kind of moments, I think, in that I think he's done. Because it's almost like he was, at that point, it was almost like through Mary Jane and through that scene, he was kind of telling the readers that this is what you get if you want to go back to basics here. This is what you get when you're basically saying that if you don't like me trying to do something new, fresh, and innovative, okay, this is what you're going to get. And it's almost like he's almost kind of telling the readers, like, this kind of felt like,
well, congratulations.
This is felt like
if we're to believe the rumors,
you didn't appreciate when I tried doing something innovative.
Congratulations, Dan. If you were to believe the rumors, you're going to be off at 800. Bye.
Well, let's not. We're not that lucky, dude. Don't get excited.
Hey, we're not.
We'll
talk about news.
Yeah.
We haven't heard from JR in a while. He gave it a D minus. I want to hear some JR cons.
I just thoroughly despise the entire issue. I mean, it felt like it was one of those parallel universe type things where things are just written to advance a certain plot where the writer wants to go, whether or not it's an organic way to get there or not.
Yes.
This Peter as a loser type thing, I'm sick of it. I'm absolutely sick of Peter Parker as loser. It almost felt like the beginning of Brand New Day again. Remember Brand New Day, where he was just a loser slacker, and this felt like, that again. He doesn't have another friend he can bunk with who knows he's Spider-Man, not the Human Torch.
Not Mary Jane either, apparently. But
weren't they just hanging out in like Spectacular Spider-Man something or other? He can't bunk up with the Torch for a while. And Robbie, frankly, Robbie doesn't seem to be very very journalistic at all. I mean, he does a piece on Peter, but doesn't get his perspective. He doesn't reach out to former CEO Parker to explain his side of the story. He just does a hatchet job on him. That's not journalistic integrity right there.
I think the plot will demand that Peter's going to have to explain himself at a certain point, and I think that's where the end of the Fall of Parker arc will go.
I agree.
Edge of Fall of Parker Industries.
I agree. It doesn't feel natural. The story doesn't feel natural. The love interest doesn't feel natural.
And I didn't quite follow the Pym part, the Pym thing. I'm sorry. I did. Robbie may have understood what Peter was saying, but I still didn't.
And also, he's still sharing his book with another hero, even with the legacy. He's sharing a book with Mockingbird.
Yeah, which is funny because one of the reasons that Marvel, one of the false reasons that Marvel gave for ending the marriage is because, and a lot of fans who supported it at the time were even saying that Peter was too much of a, it was making Mary Jane like just as important as Peter in the story, and Peter, Mary Jane was becoming this just important part of the story and all this other crap. And I'm like, well, what does him dating another superhero inside his own book do?
Remember that one poster we used to have that was like all hard up on him dating like the random superhero people?
No,
I swear to God, he's writing it for that guy.
Well, this is what's funny about this, because I mean I've seen arguments where Slott had with this guy, the guy we're talking about, and he says, "Oh no, I would never have Spider-Man date a superhero."
Another thing.
Yeah.
That we didn't talk about. A pro is the original numberings back, so that's a pro.
Yeah, but
But for how long? Another thing, if you see in the back of the book, there's a recap of the origin, as if you didn't know it already. And I think, granted, it has Mark Bagley art, which I like a lot. But one of the biggest problems, it's very glaring. I've got it up on the YouTube channel. This is the problem. There are 1,000 spider people. This is the one that we care about, the dead center. Quit spending all your time on these and write this one good. Write the main character good. And we will then enjoy the rest of them. But you need to focus on this one. Because the more you peel out of this character, the less important he gets, in my opinion.
There needs to be some sort of house cleaning where, like, I'm sorry, but Spider-Gwen, Silk, a lot of these characters just get killed off. There should be.
Or there needs to be a
Crisis on Infinite Spider-Verse.
Yeah.
Didn't we just have? But we had that was what Spider-Verse was supposed to be, the cleaning house thing. Oh wait, no, it wasn't.
Yeah.
Just like
so. All right. Any YouTubers? Any comments you would like to make before we move on to the other issue?
They had a Benji.
I'm gonna talk less because there's other stuff in these issues that I was actually kind of happy with, and that's apparently unpopular in chat.
No, I enjoy.
People have burned me an effigy in chat.
I love a positive George.
No, I'm not entirely positive. I mean, I did give it.
You gave it a C. You gave it a C for the first time in like a year or two.
There was just a couple of things I liked. I liked seeing. I
was about to say, you guys were pondering an alternate universe version of me. I mean, maybe we're getting an alternate universe version of George right now.
I am the alternate universe. I'm the mirror universe of
except
George.
that George would be clean shaven, I think.
I'm the mirror universe of George, except that I killed the real George like 5 years ago.
I love that Enigma says in the chat, ASM is just a launching pad for other books at this point. True.
Yeah, true.
True.
It is. It's literally the actual. It delivers on the promise, like what the movies are tried to do. Amazing Spider-Man is actually doing in the books.
Yeah. All right, let's see who's got this next book. It would be Mike. Mike, you've got this one. Let's take you through ASM 790, written by Mr. Slott, and I think Eminem did the pencils again.
Yes, he did.
Yep. I'm sorry, Christos Gage helped with
Christos Gage co-wrote this, so he actually did all the dialogue, which is why this is actually will get a much higher grade.
Okay, go ahead.
Later on. Now, we begin the book by with Peter doing what he probably should have done. He's doing his little man-up thing. He decides to go on an apology tour and basically apologizes to all of his investors and all the customers about Parker Industries, saying, look, I'm sorry for what happened, but I felt like I had no choice because Doc Ock was trying to take it over. And so, but I understand all the hardships you've caused and all that stuff. And then Harry is with him, and Harry's kind of congratulating. He's like, "Hey, well done!" And says, "Oh, by the way, we've got to go. We got to go to the Baxter building to because we're going to have to sell that to kind of help pay off all of our legal assets." But as soon as Harry turns around, Peter basically bails to be Spider-Man. because
he shucks his responsibility.
Just when he was doing so well in the beginning, he decides, nope, I'm just gonna jet.
I'm
out. Off.
Yep.
Yeah. And because as he even says, he's like, oh, I feel like I'm more comfortable being Spider-Man and everything, doing this stuff. It's literally kind of a escape thing, which he goes off and if you ever seen Spider-Man Homecoming in the beginning, he basically starts doing all that stuff, like helping old ladies and,
here, look, he hits the spider symbol. He hits the spider symbol and the suit shrinks. Yeah.
Yeah. He's basically doing double judge, doing all the kind of friendly, taking selfies and everything. While he's doing that, Harry is meeting up with Johnny Storm, and Johnny is just furious of the fact that the Baxter building is being sold, and
as he should be,
yes. And then Spider-Man finally shows up. He says, "Okay, I'm going to have to face the music," and he gets into an argument. It's like, "Oh, he's trying to," and Johnny basically gets mad. He flames on. He basically punches Peter in the thing. And the fights go on, and inside the Baxter building. While this is going on, everybody's favorite second-rate shocker, known as Clash, he's the son.
Shots fired.
Shocker 2.0, huh?
Yeah, he basically is.
That's true.
That is,
dude. That's straight up.
He's
straight up George.
Yeah,
he's not even here.
Yeah, basically, he and his Robin Hood gang have decided to go to the Parker Industries because Clash is he wants his stuff back. Yeah. So he somehow breaks into the Baxter building. Yeah, security, basically trips off, goes in there. So he goes into like their basement, I guess, where they keep all their hidden projects, and he gets his thing. Yeah. And well, while he's there, and while Peter and Johnny are still fighting, there's a point where Johnny tries to throw a fireball at Peter and he blows up the Fantastic Four statue because symbolism. And at that point, Harry says, "Hey, will you two idiots stop? Look what's going on to these security cameras," which interestingly enough, Clash did not disable somehow. So he's telling them, "Hey, these guys are trying to rob the place." So Spider-Man and Johnny, they go down to the basement to try to say, "Hey, stop Clash." And while they're trying to stop him from doing this, these two knotheads, new thieves, they try to steal what looks like some newfangled, looks like a motor of some kind, and it starts vibrating, and it basically, it starts, about to explode. Where have we seen this before? Back, and so then Clash, Johnny, and Spidey, they all decide, we got to work together to basically try to disable this device, and they manage to do it. They manage to save the day, but Clash escapes, because I guess the recent trend is Spidey, the guy who does what he does because he let a bad guy escape, decides to let bad guys escape now. But
oh shucks, that crafty little blank. He must have muffled his sound and slipped away.
Well, this wasn't as bad.
He's gonna go kill somebody's uncle.
This wasn't as bad as when Otto got away recently, and then Peter was just was bad, thinking, "Gee, he must be gone. If only there was some way I had to track him."
Or Norman, what he did with Norman, where Norman he let get away too. But anyway,
look at the panel. Johnny says, "Should we look for him?" Spider-Man goes,
"Yeah,
who knows where he could have gone? He did stay to help. I mean,
maybe he stopped to go help some more puppies because that's what will make readers like him."
Remember, it's not like we couldn't find him before with the security cameras that were on, but oh well.
Or that $10 issue. Pardon me.
Yeah. Well, anyway, but Harry. Yeah, he's listening to this, he's going, you know what? Enough of this crap. I quit. I've had it with Peter. Had it with
So Harry is the reader. Okay.
Yeah, and Harry just up and decides,
not rooting for our main hero at all.
No, he's just decided to just kind of just bail. He's just like, I quit from this company and everything else. You're on your own, and and stuff. And so Peter's like, kind of and feeling bummed, and then Johnny sticks around and kind of says, he does a little bromance and says, "Hey, I guess you need a friend now, so let's go watch the sunset and reminisce about life."
You got a friend in me.
And yep.
And which one's Woody? Which one's Buzz?
Yeah, right.
I'm pretty sure Johnny Storm.
What, George?
Yeah.
Spidey's definitely Woody, dude.
Yeah, I'll give you that. Yeah, I'll give you that.
Yeah,
Come on.
and Johnny's basically saying to Peter, like, you kind of had the right idea, but you couldn't do it on. You needed to have a support network and doing stuff and all that stuff. And then Peter, he gets a phone call from Robbie who's saying, "Hey, guess what? I'm offering you a job at guess where," which we will see next issue, and that will be.
So, what's your grade, Mike?
The thing. It's a kind of a C-. It's all right. I mean, I like the, we'll get into.
Yeah, we'll get into pros and cons, man. Let's go around the horn. JR, what's your grade, sir?
I gave it a D.
A D. Zach.
F this up its tailpipe.
Whoa. Okay,
wow.
George.
I gave it a C- as well.
Okay, C. I agree. C- out of me. What's the pros, Mike?
Well, even though we've literally kind of seen the same plot before with Peter and Johnny fighting at the back of the building.
Peter just fight like a couple issues ago?
Yes. That's
how many issues ago?
Oh, it was literally like issue 3 of the
Yeah.
last volume. It was like almost the same thing. I mean, even though we did, yes, this is a repeat of that.
It's exactly.
I do like, yeah, even though it's an exact repeat, I do still like Peter and Johnny whenever they do kind of have like their interactions. But I mean, and also the art's fine. I think the arts are pretty decent. I mean, but
Yeah, the art is always awesome.
oh yeah, I mean it's a nice thing. And I do kind of I think the thing with Harry deciding to just up and quit. I think, oh, okay, we're gonna do.
Harry has more balls than our main character.
Mm-hmm. Well, we're gonna, but there's gonna be, but we see in the next issue the repercussions of that too. So I like, oh, okay, so we're doing some follow up there too. So
I think a pro is you calling Clash Shocker 2.0. I think that's
because he literally
good.
is.
That's a pro.
Yeah.
Any other pros out of this? Let's hear around the horn. Actually, we haven't heard any pros. Let's hear.
Yeah,
some.
I've got a pro or two.
Yeah, let's hear it.
I like Joe Robertson showing up at the end to help kind of pick up the pieces for Peter in an organic way. Peter going back to work for the Daily Bugle, where he spent much of his life working for, going back to work at the Daily Bugle and something science related where he's like covering science. Now, when I had read this issue, I was like, okay, he's going to take that guy's place and be like the new science reporter. Of course, we find out different.
Yeah.
But I'm like, that's organic.
Mm-hmm.
That is a legitimately positive progression for this character. And again, I wasn't prepared for that.
Yeah, it's a nice development. It's growth. We've seen it's a nice evolution.
I was shocked.
Yeah.
We've seen more growth in the character in the last 2 issues than we have in the last 5 years.
Longer than that, dude. Longer than that.
Yeah.
We can go back to like 8 or 9 years with that probably. I liked, for a hero who knows, with great power comes responsibility, facing the people negatively affected
by
his decisions. I enjoyed that. He didn't have to. He didn't have to.
That part was good, but it was tainted by him going off and leaving Harry to deal with the rest of the mess.
Yeah.
Well, and I don't know. Well, yeah, but I mean, at the same time, I mean, like Harry's right there with him. I mean, like, and then they had, like one.
I guess it could. I guess.
But, I mean, but the point is, he didn't have to do. I mean, like, he could have just had Harry go to them with a settlement, but no, he chose to sit there and face the people.
Yeah.
Who he negative affected and tried to explain himself, and I admired that. I was like, this goes and this makes sense for the character. I enjoyed it.
I think that did show him taking responsibility, but then I guess maybe the book is that he has a constant contrast of taking responsibility and shucking responsibility, because that goes back to the origin of the character.
We're on a seesaw right now. At the end of last issue, he was like, well, I don't have to be Peter Parker anymore, and in this issue he's like, well, I do have to be Peter Parker again.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of going back and forth. It's like Slott doesn't really know what he wants to do.
Should be,
well, in fairness to Slott, what he's trying to set up is this idea that because Peter has gotten so despised because of the Parker Industries thing, which again, I know it feels like he's, too famous now, but he's kind of using Spider-Man. He feels like that Spider-Man is kind of his escape valve now. And I kind of get what he's trying to do there, that he feels like, oh, that he's trying to, that Peter feels like he has to gravitate more to being Spider Side, because that's kind of like, that's kind of his sort, that's his comfort, that's his normalcy now. Yeah. What is what that?
You just said Spider Side. It made me think of clones.
Oh,
Well,
yeah.
it, you know, and I don't remember if it was this book or if it was last book, but at one point, you know, Peter's trying to explain himself, and, you know, it's like, if it wasn't for me, you know, the carry-on virus, you know, would have done this or that. And I'm thinking, without you, Jack, there wouldn't have been a carry-on virus.
Right.
So don't pat yourself on the back when hot, you know. So I like that he's kind of stepping up to take a little responsibility for that.
That was okay.
Again, very unpopular in chat. YouTube chat is not happy with me right now.
No, chat is amazed at Mirror Universe George. It's, he must won a lottery ticket or something. He is a happy dude.
You don't understand, man.
That's because you've been starving so long.
For me,
you had a morsel of food.
For me to read one issue where some shit happened that I actually liked from Slott and wasn't expecting that, and to be followed up by another issue where some more stuff that I actually liked happened. I wasn't prepared for that. I wasn't ready for that. Normally we're just used to this book sucking and doing it very well. I mean, just completely being garbage. But and I'm not saying, you know, that we're out of the woods yet. I'm just saying these two issues in particular, I enjoy. There were things in there that I enjoyed. The next issue, not so much.
Yeah. Any other pros out of this issue? Let's go straight to the. Oh, who said that?
I was just about to say cons.
Oh, okay. Let's, Mike, it's your book. Let's take through the cons.
Well, the thing is, like I mentioned before, we've seen this story before. I mean, in this case, it's literally the same exact plot, just slightly different circumstances. So that was like, really? We're kind of, I guess we're trying to do a bookend type thing, but even so. And then with Clash, it's like, I mean, I don't really care about him at all. Yeah. It's just, at this point, it's just like, okay, I can understand what Slott and Gage were trying to do with him. It's like, oh, let's try to make him into a Robin Hood thing. But again, like I said, I jokingly call, you know, he's basically basically a second-rate Shocker, because he literally is. He literally has the exact same power set, but they try to make it like, oh, new and fangled thing. But it's, you know,
but Slott makes money
at this
off
point,
of him, not Shocker.
Yeah, right. Because and then of course, you know,
you could say he has a vested interest in the character.
Sure. Yes, he does. And I think it's just one of these things where also that thing with the vibrating, you know, doohickey device that was going to blow up, that we've also seen from, like, if you go back to the very first beginning of Big Time, where we had something similar there happen, like, oh, the machine's about to blow up and because it's vibrating, and so Spider-Man's got to fix it. And, you know, and I think it's felt like that again too. So it felt like there's a lot of this, you know, it feels like they're kind of like, okay, we're visiting same old ground a lot. Yeah,
we said that about issue 32. It's felt like a Doctor Strange. We're seeing a lot of repeats. The Johnny Storm fight repeat.
Yeah,
Doctor Strange repeat. Not a lot of originality.
No. I mean, and we'll get into this point when we get in the next issue, where I think it's kind of crystallized for me in a little bit. But,
JR, cons. You gave it pretty low, I think. D, wasn't it?
I gave it a D because it was better than the previous issue, but it still sucked. I mean, you know, again, can we please stop trying to make Clash happen? Really, I'm sick of Peter running. You know this. You know, what would it be like? I mean, would you be friends with a guy anymore who just like disappeared I mean, I can't even imagine that happening. You know, where like you turn around and somebody's gone. He runs away. It's like, you know, either like you want nothing to do with this guy, or you figure there's a lot more to him than meets the eye. You know, and you know the fact that Harry hasn't figured this out yet. But then, you know, it's kind of the whole Lois Lane figuring out Clark is Superman with glasses for 50 years or whatever thing, you know. It's so that's just really getting old, the Peter running away thing. I'm tired of Spider-Man and Johnny fighting. I mean, these guys have been friends for 20 years, you know, and it should be 20 years Marvel time. You know, these people they're not 19, you know, or 25, regardless of what, you know, Marvel wants us to think. These are grown men, you know, who've been through a lot of things together, who've been through a lot of life experiences together, who've been through a lot of ups and downs of adult life, you know, and they're acting like man children. you know, which is absolutely effing stupid.
Preach it, brother.
What the hell was that?
Anyway, that was a clone from one of your long boxes.
It's Zach. His meds wore off.
Okay.
Hey. Nice there, Berryman.
And then it's like here in this little heart-to-heart chat they're having, Peter says, "Yeah, I effed it up," and then Johnny says, "No, it was Doc Ock." It was like, wait a minute, where did this come from? You know, we spent the last 2 issues, you know, ignoring the fact that, you know, this a lot of this happened because Doc Ock tried a hostile takeover, you know, and then, you know, everybody, you know, says, "Oh, Parker, you screwed up, you did this, you did that," or what? Oh, and then it's final, and then like on the last page, "Oh yeah, it was Doc Ock who did that. Yeah, I get it now." Huh?
All right.
Just effing stupid.
Clover Fan 98 says, "I think it's great that George found some stuff to like."
Dude, no one was more shocked than I was. No one.
May I go, Mr.
Yes.
Douglas?
Yes, hit it.
All right. First things first. Before I start,
What are you drinking, sir?
beer.
Okay.
Because good God Almighty, it's the only way I can get through these 3 issues.
What issue? What grade did you give this one? I forget.
I gave it an F. I told it to F it up the tailpipe. Remember? Okay.
All right. Yes. Go ahead.
All right. So here's why. Not only is this a rehash of a already shitty issue that previously existed, it's a rehash that has to include the shit-tacular character known as Clash. So not only are we getting 2 pieces of this shit sandwich smashed together, we have to get art by Stuart Immonen wasted because of this character. The fact is, I already mentioned that Harry Osborn has more balls, more backbone than Peter Parker ever has had since Slott has been writing him. The fact is that finally Harry damn Osborn is tired of Peter Parker's shit and actually does something about it. The fact is that Johnny freaking Storm should be tired of Peter Parker shit because, quite frankly, Peter Parker's written like a 12-year-old.
Are you okay? Breathe, brother. Breathe.
It annoys me when Spider-Man is treated like a lame-ass chump in his own freaking book. It pisses me off that Spider-Man is the guest star of his own freaking book. True. Yes. The Robbie stuff was great. Yes, it was nice to see everybody in the same room together. However, you still managed to screw that up, Mr. Slott. So, in conclusion of this shit-tacular...
All right. The chat room...
I warned you, Douglas. I warned you.
The YouTube chatters are worried about your health, sir. Are you okay? You aren't going to have to be cloned 27 times to get the calm Zach back, are we?
I'll be fine when I get it becomes my turn to review the next book.
You've got the next book. Any other cons out of this book? Okay. Oh, Josh, that was good. I'm not going to read that one on the
air. No, don't.
I'm not going to read that one on the air. Okay, Zach, are you prepared to take the last and final book tonight? Amazing.
Have you taken the muscle relaxer?
Yeah.
No, because by the end of it, I'll be like, "Hi, everybody."
Oh my goodness!
Before I get started, let me get properly lubricated.
Oh my God! I never want to hear that again. Fall of Parker, Marvel Legacy, ASM 791, Slott and Immonen back with Mockingbird and Spidey kissing on the cover.
Yeah, they're making out on the cover.
Which never happens in this issue, by the way, but that's okay.
God, that'd be my first con.
That happened 2 issues ago.
All right. Anyway, all right. So we start off at the waterfront, where Spider-Man and Mockingbird are taking down some thugs to the Soho apartment because, well, he's so excited because guess what? It's his first day. He's got his perfect job. That's right. He's got his work clothes. He's got his wallet, his keys. He's got his web sack. He's acting like he's married.
Yeah.
What?
No, if he was acting like he was married, he'd be slitting his wrist.
No.
And that, my friends, is why I got divorced. Anyway. All right. Spider-Man swinging by his pants. He is swinging to the Daily Bugle, and he gets there. Meanwhile,
By the way, Mockingbird wants to know if he wants to cuddle,
and he doesn't. He
He's
doesn't want to cuddle. He is happy on the couch. He is being completely platonic. He's being a responsible adult because, when you start cuddling means other things, and then you end up getting married to this person, and then you end up having a beautiful child together, and then she steals your soul. Oh, wait.
Okay, go ahead.
Yes.
All right. Sorry. Anyway, so we then cut
just to refresh, George is very zen tonight. He's happy. He's enjoying things. Zach is off his meds. Zach is ticked.
Wait a minute. Why am I being insulted? Zach is turning into JR.
Yeah,
Why am I being
and Chet says Zach is turning into JR.
Hey, at least JR has stuck it out. I didn't get that opportunity. Anyway, so
the marriage.
Oh, I see.
He got Mephisto'd. Okay.
Yeah, I got Mephisto. Anyway, so you got this smug jackass at the Daily Bugle. It's like, he's not showing up on time. So guess what, Poindexter? Yeah, I've got it. He's not showing up on time. So I got the front desk. They're gonna flag the guy, and then he shows up in the emergency exit. And the guy's like, how is this even possible? And then you've got Robbie, who's like, I know what's up. Yeah, I do.
What?
Yes, he is heavily implied. Look,
No.
entire scene.
I'm talking about your Robbie voice. WTF?
It was very.
I was trying to do a
very
deeper,
white
richer voice.
It was very. Yeah, I know what's up. I know what's up.
It's Robbie. It's not Luther Vandross. It's not Lou Rawls. It's Robbie. Guy. He doesn't have the sexy.
Let's get it on. Let's print this paper. Let's get it on.
You're gonna miss.
All right.
I'm giving you a
Robbie
Kirby, George. That was a great one.
All right. Anyway, so you've got, and the reason why I say Robbie knows what's up because the hours are flexible. Like literally, Robbie is basically telling him go be Spider-Man without saying go be Spider-Man.
That's pretty true.
And of course, then we get the dud of a joke in the issue. He's like, an Alchemax droid? Are you kidding me?
Oh yeah.
So okay, basically we meet the new spunky tech reporter. Yay!
Yeah.
So
who will
we then go to
about
upstate
a couple issues. Yeah.
yeah. Who Slot will forget about in a couple of issues.
Yeah.
Let's get it clear.
It's the new Sajani.
Yeah.
It is actually. It is.
Yeah,
it's actually. It's a more.
It is
passive
Sajani.
version
Is
of
it 3.0?
Sajani.
It's the new Sajani on different levels.
Yes, it is. Very much
It's the,
so,
it's the
actually.
Asian version of Sajani.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got to. Okay. Anyway, so we get to upstate New York, Humantech Robotics Incorporated, and we have Mockingbird getting a tour of the new facility, and we have the Tony Stark fill-in.
Exactly.
That's is a little bit douchier because he has a beard that he can't grow out like a man, and so.
Yeah.
Peter's like, we're going on a field trip. So he's like, yeah, here I am. I've got my douchey suit and my beard that I can't again grow. I look like I'm 12 trying to grow a beard out. Anyway,
and wear sunglasses indoors too. Don't forget that. So that's
I wear my sunglasses at night. So Bobby gets Peter in. They're trying to do trying to do a feature, and then Peter's like, brain patterns. And he's like, oh, yes, good eye. And Peter's like getting flashbacks, just like we are for ASM 600. Remember, because brain waves.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Anyway, so robot tech parts. And so, like, this Poindexter guy's like, hey, let's see what it looks like under the hood.
The voices tonight are out of control.
So like the
Only
Poindexter.
one of us is doing voices.
Yeah.
What? Only one of us is doing voices.
And then the robot is like, stop, execute, stop. And then Spider-Sense goes off with a really great half face panel.
Well,
And
actually,
Peter's
Zach,
like,
Zach, you got to do the voice right. You got to do is like, no, stop,
Spider-Sense,
because it's a feminine voice. Remember?
Oh yeah.
Stop, please, please stop. Please stop me, please. Anyway,
yes, please stop.
Spider-Man and Mockingbird come back that evening, and Spider-Man.
You missed them trying to get a couple name, by the way. Spockingbird.
Yeah, we got Spockingbird.
Spock or whatever.
Okay, this is definition of you trying too hard, Mr. Slot.
Yeah.
I will get to that later.
Okay.
He's like trying to go through the air vents, because that's what Peter does. And then like Mockingbird's like, "Hey, dumbass! I invented the damn security codes. Let me push the button." Click. All right. So then they get in.
So
there.
Mockingbird saved the day again, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So Mockingbird again shows up Spider-Man because Spider-Man
In his
has
own
to be
look.
a jackass.
Yep.
Ta-da! All right, so we get the same set of brainwaves across the board with all these little robots, and they're like, execute. We get Aunt May that suddenly pretends like she suddenly needs children, despite the fact that she really didn't care for the last 50 years.
And I forget who said it, but they wouldn't technically be her grandchildren. He's his nephew.
Yeah.
He's her nephew.
Well,
anyway,
so she's like, "Oh, is that
what were
Bobby
they?
I like?"
I'm confused on the family tree. What were the kids of your brother's kids be to that woman? Like, if Peter had grandkids, what would they be in relation to Aunt May?
It would be Aunt May's great nieces and nephews.
Great nieces and nephews. Okay, got it. Got it.
Because I have to explain how family trees work to Brad. Anyway,
well, I tell you, it's like what's the big Thor tree? What's the Thor tree? It causes Ragnarok. Yeah, that.
Yggdrasil.
So
This is not a Thor podcast, evidently.
So apparently, getting back to the Spider-Man book we're talking about right now. So suddenly the little androids that look just like the actual android symbol from Google. Google, you should totally, look at that to Marvel right now. So they start attacking Mockingbird and Spider-Man. So we then come up with their Spockingbird. It's Mocking Man. It's Mocking Man. Ooh. And then Poindexter man that can't grow a beard. He's like, "You the Avengers, you wreck everything. What are you doing? Do you even know how this feels? Do you understand my plight?"
Mm-hmm.
And then like Peter's like, "Oh yeah, as a matter of fact, I actually can." And then like Peter's like trying to, then he unmasks He unmasks the droid a la Scooby-Doo, Raggy. Like it wants to escape finally. So then he throws the Crystal of Doom around, and then all of a sudden they start throwing more crystals, and then they all crystallize because how could you, Spider-Man?
You are enjoying this review.
And all of a sudden, they're like, "Look, it's not Sandman because, well, she has boobs."
It's Quicksand, a Thor villain.
Quicksand, a Thor villain.
Hey,
that's Spider-Man.
Tying it back to the Yargers.
There you go. Bringing it back. Bringing it
that
back.
Spider-Man has fought during the Kavanaugh era in Web of Spider-Man. This is not his first time fighting
Look
this
at
character.
you. I didn't know that. Look at you.
Oh,
Wow, I'm impressed.
He's already fought her?
Yes, and Spider-Man's like, "Who the?"
Wait a minute. Now that's not true because clearly Slot historian and scholar, or Spider-Man historian and scholar Dan Slot would know that. Remember, this is the same guy that told us, "Hey, you'll finally get to see Spider-Man fight Bullseye," even though it had happened like 5 years earlier.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So then Peter Parker's like, "The fall of Humanitech," the Daily Bugle. So he gets his money, no questions asked, stay under the radar, just no beaches, nowhere near sand. That's so funny. That's such a funny little scene. Oh my goodness. So then Alchemex shows up with Liz and Harry's like, "Hey, I'm now the head of the acquisitions department because I'm moving on up." Anyway, good on you, Harry. Good on you. So then,
was that your Robbie impression?
No, that
Okay.
was me referencing the Jeffersons.
No, I know, but they're right. Okay.
Anyway, so then we have interesting subplot number 1 where apparently the nanny is deciding to take blood from children.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Osborne blood, baby.
We're back to this again.
Damn it, Norman! Oh, all right. Anyway, back to this again. So Robbie's like, take a bow, science division. It's not every day you get a better hook than the front page.
Yeah.
And then they're like, oh, hey, Parker, you're doing actually a really good job. This is actually a good thing. Well, no crap. He's been around the newspaper industry for the last 10 years.
And, you know, I think it's crazy that we can believe that a dude can crawl on walls and has spider strength, but I have a hard time watching 20-year-olds read the newspaper.
20-year-olds don't read the newspaper.
They don't.
Exactly.
They don't read the newspaper.
I read the newspaper. Well, I'm almost 30.
You're not 20.
You're not.
You're not 20, Zach.
I am still 29. I am still 29.
Oh, all right. Well, all right. I envision all those young pups looking at it on db.com.
On tablets.
They're looking at it as a 5-second video snippet off of Snapchat. That's how they're looking at it.
Yeah.
Did you say Snapchat? Because that almost got dirty.
I said
Anyway.
Snapchat. You heard what you want to hear.
Yep.
That's on you, not me.
All right. So
That sounds like a Trump press conference.
Oh, stop. Oh, stop.
wow, that escalated quickly. So, in
Wow.
conclusion,
Make
Peter
Marvel
Parker,
great again.
Yeah.
Peter Parker feels like he's home.
I feel like I'm home. Okay. So, Zach, what is your grade on this? I think I know.
You know what? I had
really?
so much fun doing this.
The grade went up as you delivered this?
Yes, because of the unintentional hilarity of all of it.
It went to an F plus.
No, honestly, it's a C.
Wait a
It was
minute.
D.
That's a C.
It's a C. It's a C.
Oh my gosh.
For all its
I'm
faults,
exhausted. I thought you were sure going to go lower.
It's trying to be a Spider-Man story. It's trying. It's trying really hard. Unfortunately, the stupidity of what I don't blame Slott for not knowing that he'd fought quicksand once in a Web of Spider-Man issue that Terry Cavanaugh wrote. I understand if you don't want to read that, Dan. I didn't either. But at least you had Sandman as a guest star, so you could get them mixing together, and then it's just there was a whole bunch of sand themed characters. Go check it out. It's got great Alex Savick art.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I mean, it's not unlike this issue. Oh, what a surprise!
Yeah, great
art,
artwork. Poor storytelling. Yeah. Okay, so I mean, you gave it a C plus. What did you give it?
C minus. It's a C minus. It's not. Look, it was a D. It was a D.
It started as a D. This review made it a C.
Yes, because I just had too much fun. I did. I did.
Let's go around the horn. Mike, what'd you give it for a grade?
It's a C minus. Very borderline though. I think in some places though, actually.
Yeah. George.
This is an F.
Oh.
Okay.
Well, and he's back.
George is back. George is back.
Celebrate chat room on YouTube. George is back.
I hinted at that earlier. I said there were things that I wasn't prepared to like these things, but that'll change next issue.
He's back. All right, JR, where are you going? Up or down?
Well, I'm certainly not going up George Barrowman or whatever we were talking about earlier. I gave it a C minus.
Okay, I'll give it a D. I did not like it at all. Okay. The art saves it, and a couple scenes are okay, but man. Pros out of Zach. Where did Zach go? Did he pass out after all that? All right.
I think he just did.
Well, let's hear some other pros from the rest of you guys. What do you got, Mike?
I like Terry going to work for Liz.
Yeah, I like that too.
That was about it.
Zach, I went to you for pros. I didn't hear you. What's your pro out of this book? You're muted, sir.
Zach's checked out.
Zach is passing out.
Sorry. I was having some technical issues.
Okay.
There's a surprise.
Anyway, pros out of you, sir.
Look, the artwork is good.
Yep.
It's one of the now. The only thing I don't like about the artwork is the douchey Peter Parker hair. That last panel at the end. When did he get like? When does his hair get 5 feet off his head? Like, what is that?
There's a couple places in. Yeah, there's a couple places in here where I thought the art was kind of looked weird. Like, I don't know if Eminem was trying to make it. Eminem was trying to go a little bit more like kind of like.
Do you think his Robbie looks off too?
There's parts of it. No, but there was that one panel where Peter's on the couch and he's got this like wide-eyed baby, like porcelain doll looks in his eyes.
Yeah,
where it's just like, but there's weird places like that where he tried to like, where then characters do like these little weird kind of faces, and it's just, I don't know if Eminem is trying to do like something more kind of cartoony anime kind of thing, but it doesn't quite work. It's in proportions with the kind of a more realistic style that he's doing here.
So, like, for example, I know what Brad's talking about. That same page, the final page of the issue, you've got like the kind of the far away shot where the orange background with Peter and Robbie, their faces look lumpy. And this is something that happens with Immerman. When he's closer in and he does more detail, they're much better than, but when he goes far away shots, it's just, they look off. And I understand.
Yeah.
I like the chat room is chanting, George is back, tell a friend, Bear is back, tell a friend. Michael reading it.
George is back.
Yeah.
George is back.
Tell a friend.
Yeah.
Pro out of Enigma made Zach take a shot. That was funny. That was funny. That's why I liked having the YouTube live here. This is fun. Peter's hair in that panel looks like Parks and Rec Gene Ralphio. I don't know who that is. Let's see. Any other pros out of this book?
It's a done one, technically.
That's so good. That's good.
So
it is again. It feels like it's trying really hard to be a Spider-Man story. A one and done story is trying to be a Spider-Man story.
It's trying. It feels like a Marvel team up story.
Yeah.
The sad thing is the best book of the last 2 months is a book that we haven't even talked about tonight.
Yeah.
Which is Spectacular Spider-Man.
Yeah, we'll talk a little bit about.
I still refuse to read it. I'm not reading it anymore.
Okay.
Oh well.
Nope, not doing it.
The last 2 issues have changed a little bit.
Don't care. Don't care.
I would say that literally the last 2 issues have completely altered my thought process on how I view Chip.
Okay,
I do.
Chip had 2 issues to do that for me right at the onset.
Yeah.
And Chip missed his chance.
No.
So no, I'm done with that.
Which I understand, George, but I mean, yeah. Oh, I understand, and I understand it because I was literally out too.
Let's not go to spec. We're on ASM. We're on ASM.
Sure. Okay.
Go ahead. Any other pros? George? I mean, JR? Either of you?
Well, Peter acted halfway competent this issue.
Mm-hmm.
I guess that's a pro.
George, you gave it an F. What? No pros, huh?
Yeah. Here's the thing. Every now and then, a writer can make me hate a character, and that I normally otherwise would have liked, or that I used to like. Kurt Busiek did this with Beast on his Avengers run, which started after Heroes Reborn. When you had Vision and Wanda and there was drama between them, and then Beast comes up to show out of town and is hanging out with Wonder Man, who has the hots for Wanda again, and he basically tells Vision, oh yeah, I'm sorry about you and Wanda, that must suck, but hey, whatever gets my pal Simon laid, huh? not in those exact words, but that was, and I was like, I literally hate you now. Writer made me hate a character. I could give 2 shits about the Beast since that day. I always liked Mockingbird and West Coast Avengers, and in all our other appearances, I've always enjoyed Mockingbird. And Dan Slott has made me hate Mockingbird.
I know where you're going with it.
He cannot stop. He's always injecting his own political bullshit into at least one character. Normally it's Peter. Here he cannot get Mockingbird to shut up about taking shots about men. This from someone who's letting a guy sleep on her couch. And I am sick to death and done with it.
Mhm.
Who will rid me? Who will rid me of this bothersome practice at Marvel that Axel Alonso looks at favorably and encourages?
Find out in the next episode of the Crawl Space.
But no,
To be continued.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. She starts off. This is what really gets my goat. We start off with her looking at the little robot thing.
Oh yeah.
Right, the little robot thing, and they're like, "Well, we're having a problem getting it executing a male voice," and she's like, "Well, why does it have to be male? Why do you want to suppress the female voice?" And she says this right after listing off Siri and Alexa. Like, there's no suppression of a female voice. They're already out there. Maybe they're trying to do something different. What the f? What the f is wrong with you?
What's wrong with having?
Shut up! Oh my god.
I mean, if you want it to be a male voice that sounds like a British person on iOS, you certainly can do that.
But it doesn't, because it sounds like a male feminist voicing himself through a female character, and that's exactly what's happening.
And see, this is what was that panel was just so weird. I mean, it was just like, okay,
that
are
panel
you trying
reminds
to make
me
a
of
joke
the
or are you being
hitting
serious?
Asians in Japan panel.
Yeah, it's like,
And then go ahead.
I was just saying, it's like, to me, I just saw that when I saw that panel, I was like, wait, are we meant to be, is this supposed to be a serious point? Or are you kind of, is this like a parody of feminism? Because I was like, because I really could not tell exactly what was going on with this at all. It was just like, I mean, is this a character trait of hers now? It's like, it was just
it's a character trait of slots.
Yeah. It
sounds like twats, like slots. Twitter feed. It sounds like Brad's going to get an angry text message later for that one. Let me tell you. It sounds like Slot's Twitter feed.
You were going for the word Twitter.
I was trying to take Twitter, Slot.
Oh my god!
It came out too fast.
It came out.
Oh.
Slow down, Berryman. You gotta slow that roll because you get stuff out. It's not supposed to be. You gotta slow that roll.
Okay, to get this back on track. The second point is, again, and this is unrelated to Slots injecting his Twitter politics into every, into like some character in every book. Here we have this time we have Aunt May taking on the role of, but she's perfect for you.
Mm-hmm,
oh god,
that we used to get with Carly Cooper when all of Peter's friends would say, that Carly, she's just so perfect for you. And here's Aunt May doing it, and I was like, I was flipping the book off.
Oh, well,
I was so
this is like her only character trait. This is why I don't like Aunt May.
Yeah, it's like,
for God's sake, this is bullshit.
Well, I mean, yeah, this is I think when I did a review of this thing on my own on the site I write for, I even kind of joked, because she did Mockingbird has become now the Carly Cooper of this book, like Carly Cooper 4.0 or something. But she's also taking on traits of Black Cat and Mary Jane. Especially there's that one scene where there's Mockingbird standing by the window and says, "Oh, Peter's spending too much time being Spider-Man thing." And remember all the complaints people made about the
she
marriage.
Was the one that encouraged him to do it in the first place. The issue before
exactly.
That was killing me. I was like, she says this, and I'm like, you were the one that taught him to do this 2 issues ago.
Here's a hypothetical. What if this Mockingbird is a Skrull, and
we can only hope.
Johnny Storm can get with Peter and say, "Dude, I understand." Elijah.
You had me a Johnny Storm can get with Peter. All right, my third point in this Slot fiasco is when Quicksand shows up, and she's looking at the two of them, and Spider-Man's like, wait, that's not Sandman, and then she throws out, since when does the default Sand villain have to be Sandman? And I'm like, I don't know, since there's way more decades involved of the Sand character being Sandman than this one female character.
Since more people know who Sandman is than they do Quicksand.
That's why. If Slot could, see, this is the thing. In the last 2 issues, I found things I wasn't expecting that surprised me, and I was pleased to see. Now, don't get me wrong. That didn't make me think, maybe things are going to be good from now on, because you know. I mean, you understand who you're dealing with, and then boom, here we go. We're right back to it. We're right back. This is the kind of thing. half the people reading this don't even want to see it in there. And you know what? It's probably more than half, because half the country's divided on this kind of crap. But again, even with the people who aren't, no one likes seeing this in their comics. There's like 10% of the people reading this maybe who give a shit about that.
Yeah.
And what's important, it was like, well, I need all my heroes to be woke. Get over yourself.
So an editor would take the political aspect out of it, so it doesn't offend the audience, or what would an editor do if he saw that in his
3 times in one book? Sorry, twice and 2 times in one book. So she makes some sort of. It's not necessarily misogynistic, but it's definitely way too easy offended feminism.
Yeah,
you know, and again, it's because it's a guy doing it.
Yeah.
It's always more egregious when it comes from a dude trying to get offended for gals.
Yeah.
I'll give you that.
It's always more crazy when it's somebody trying to take offense for somebody else.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
That's a good point. I agree with that.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel.
Well,
it goes along with Slot's relationship writing too.
So
it doesn't feel natural.
It's so ham-fisted.
Doesn't read natural.
Right.
It reads like Slot's Twitter feed. See, I did it right this time, there, Berryman.
Yeah.
What do you want, a cookie? Have another shot,
please.
No, he wants a bag of flour.
What's funny about this thing is that in this issue with the whole Spider-Man Mockingbird thing, and then you have characters in here aside from Aunt May who are thinking, wait, Peter and Mockingbird Peter and Bobby, they're dating. They're like, and people can't understand it. And I'm thinking, not to myself, yeah, why are they dating? Because we don't really know. And it's like
very true. It doesn't feel natural at all.
It's just, and then you get to this. I mean, you get to the sense that it's like, to me, when that first scene where she's basically tucking in Peter, in the couch thing, that almost read like he was her older sister or his mom, like rather than a girlfriend. It was just so. Yeah. I mean. And another con I have. What kind of
girls that are friends or dating that does that? That doesn't feel natural, especially one that she made out of the previous issue.
Yeah, it's just like, oh wait, I mean, she might as well brought him some plate of milk and cookies or something while he was at it, or something. While she was at it. But the other thing that was kind of annoyed me about this too is. It's how they were trying to how this issue tried to play up the idea that, oh, this is like some new direction, that we're going in a new direction. It's like thinking, well, no, not really, because, okay, because he's still back at the Bugle, even though we like the fact that he's back at the Bugle, but it's trying to make it sound like it's some new, which, by the way, I know this is comics, and I know we have there's a suspension of disbelief, but I just do not buy for a second that the paper, which basically slammed in the press about his poor management skills, would then hire him to basically be in a management position.
Well, you have to think about it. Hang on. You say the paper that the same guy that gave him the job is the same guy that's known him for
that's true
his entire professional career.
Yeah,
well,
but
I was going to say it's
time-
also the former workplace where they called him out for plagiarism. Or not plagiarism, for falsifying a photo.
Well, actually, that was the mayor's office, but even so, but again, it just it seems like, oh yeah, you suck as a manager. You want to be the manager?
No, if anybody's going to be willing to give Peter Parker the benefit,
I agree, it's Robbie.
Yeah, it's Robbie.
Now that does feel natural.
Mm-hmm.
So, in that regard, I agree with George.
Mm-hmm.
Shocking.
Yes,
I know.
Well, that's because I'm right all the time. I mean, you should agree with me more often than you do.
All right, go ahead.
So, all that being said, Robbie, look, and raise your hand if you think Robbie is blatantly showing his hand, saying that, dude, I know.
It was very much implied. It was very much implied that he knows Peter is Spider-Man.
And it's been that way throughout.
Time, yeah.
That's always been a wink, I kind of know.
Right.
Dating back to the double digits of Spider-Man, I think.
Well, even going back to the 90s, I mean, if you've read the Spider-Man The Final Adventure, the subtext is there.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Robbie is the guy that, wink, wink, nod, I know you're Spider-Man, but I'm not going to say anything.
Yeah. Right, yeah.
Yeah. We haven't heard from JR. What's some cons out of you, sir? What was your grade, by the way, to refresh?
I gave it a C-.
Oh, it's higher. All right.
Yeah, well, because it wasn't as bad as the other two. It's a relative sort of thing. We're talking about cons.
Yeah.
A lot of the same points other people have brought up. The whole suppressing a woman's digital voice is like, where did that come from?
Slot.
You know, just and Peter's slacker attire. You know, it's like, he don't know why he dresses that way. And the whole new group of half-assed supporting characters who will go the way of Tricorp and Horizon eventually. I mean, it's like, we've done this before. We get this all. Peter gets part of a new team, and there, you see the little personalities, of some of these individuals, and then it's all going to go into the crapper, 30 issues later or something. Yeah. It's, just as a retread. So,
what's your thoughts of Mockingbird sharing the title?
I don't like it.
Yeah,
I don't like it. I mean, I don't even see. There's nothing. Why were these characters together? I mean, what drove them together? What experiences have they shared? What what commonalities do they have?
Working for Shield invading Simcaria or whatever. That's the only time they bonded, right?
Yeah.
This whole they've been. You could make the argument he's been
working together is not bonding.
Yeah,
you could make the argument that he's been building this relationship since.
No, you really can't.
Relaunch of. I'm playing devil's advocate.
No, you really.
I'm playing Mephisto's advocate.
Stop, because you can't.
Because the very first issue of this volume,
it's a fallacious argument.
Yeah,
it's a what?
Is it multiple man? Is it
what?
Multiple man?
Fallacious. It means false, not fellatio. Jr. Fallacious.
Oh.
Go back to sleep and take your pills.
So
well,
here's
what
the
you just did.
So
my goodness.
Here's the thing. If Slott had done this correctly, he would have built this up over the entire volume.
It's a fallacious argument.
Dan stinking Slott.
Yeah.
And Dan Slott cannot do anything in terms of developing Peter Parker's world. He can develop Otto Octavius's world, but for some reason the guy can't pull off writing an effective working relationship with a character that, okay, it's out of left field, but okay, I'm willing to roll with it for a little bit. The problem is that Slott has done a shit job making this relationship fit. We don't talk about how there wasn't that first meeting. We basically got in the middle of the story when it came to these two. The problem is that we came in mid-story. We didn't get the beginning. We came in the middle, and it's like, oh, hey, accept this. Oh, by the way, he's banging some Asian chick from Shanghai. Oh, yeah, because he's Peter Parker. Like, really? Like, really? Let's work on it. But, people will be like, well, they developed from being work friends to just, being in a relationship. Come on, bro. Yeah. Like we have entire issues where she's not even mentioned in this volume.
All right.
I
think we're going to wrap it up. Any final comments from the YouTubers before we call it a night? Not call it a night. We call this an episode.
Yeah, we still have news and what?
That's it.
That's it.
News, that's it.
Yeah.
Hornacek says Zach is the man of 1,000 voices.
Trying to be.
I could edit it right there.
Does that count the ones in his head or not?
Let's see.
The ones inside my head.
Words,
I will find you,
Slott,
and I will.
Slott develops all the relationships between the panels, says Zach. Jensen, that's very
Slott's
good.
like not Slott, but Zach's like a poor man's Billy West.
I'll take that as a. Wait, who's Billy West?
Never mind. He's a voice. There's a lot of voices.
I was about to say, how come nobody's commented on the fact that if Robbie's hand goes down about another inch, Peter should slap him with a sexual harassment lawsuit?
Where? What are you talking
about?
Where?
Well, it's on. Remember, it's on the page where Robbie's saying that he, next time he comes, he should into the building. He should go through the lobby. I mean, you look where Robbie's hand is placed.
This issue?
Yeah. It's kind of frightening. Like I said, all he's got to do is
Oh, that's the middle of his.
and he's down in Kevin Spacey territory.
Oh, Lord.
I did like that the douchebag industrialist in this looked like Tony Stark. Every random douchebag industrialist in Marvel should look like Tony Stark.
What is this? What
Tony
was this guy's
Slot.
name? Like, what was it? Like
Can't stop me
Xander?
tonight.
Was it like Xander?
Xander
or
something.
Oh,
Yeah, and it was another X there too. It was like
Xander Cameo or something. I don't know. He was only.
Yeah,
I'll never see this guy
we're
again.
never going to see this guy again.
Actually, random character we'll never see again.
Because the whole thing was supposed to set up Alchemix anyway.
here's the question to the panel from the YouTubers: Who is a worse character, Carly Cooper or Bobby Morris, Mockingbird?
Carly.
Carly has a
come on.
history of that sort of egregiousness. Really, this is Bobby's only been around relatively a short time compared to Carly. But the chat's asking, do I hate her? What could make me a Bobby fan again? And I'm like, for her to go away to somebody else's book and not have Slott inject his own damn bullshit into her voice.
Hey, does anyone think that since Peter and Bobby are an item that Hawkeye's going to show up at some point?
I was just going to say that. Hawkeye's off.
I thought Hawkeye was dead.
No, Hawkeye's alive.
Hawkeye got better. Hawkeye is going after the killer of Black Widow.
But as soon as he gets back from that,
Black Widow died.
Black Widow's
She'll get
dead.
better.
Whatever.
Yeah, but as soon as he gets back from that, you're kind of thinking, wait, is he? What's?
Wait a minute. Isn't Hawkeye married to Velma from the Scooby-Doo movies?
Oh, Linda Cardellini? Hell, I'd like to be married to Linda Cardellini. She's cute.
All right. Hey, YouTubers, we're going to take about a 15-minute break.
No, 15. We're going to take a quarter hour of a break, Brad.
I apologize.
Wow.
We're going to take a 10-minute break. And we're going to stop the live feed.
B-double-E-double-R-U-N, beer run.
We will start back up.
B-double-E-double-R-U-N, beer.
We will start back up in 10 minutes. Watch the YouTube channel. We'll be back on. I'll also post it back on our Facebook page so you guys can watch us talk about a new editor-in-chief at Marvel.
Okay.
New editor-in-chief.
Like Bergman's
Yay! There you go. That'll be Spider News. We'll record next. Be back in 10. All right.
Spider News.
Okay.
Spider News.
Okay.
Spider